This episode is brought to you by this week's Patreon sponsor.
Yeah.
Chad
Those waveforms are mostly lined up.
Yeah.
You're listening to Metal Gear Mondays, the greatest Metal Gear podcast ever.
I don't agree with you.
Releasing on Monday, every Monday.
How did you patch into my radio frequency? Stinks in here. Bad.
Ladies, gearsmen, babies, and gentle thems, welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, a podcast about Death Stranding. Interesting. No, it's a Kojima-verse podcast. We talk about Metal Gear, Death Stranding, all the Kojima Productions projects, and everything in between. Up to down, left to right, top down, middle, inside out, in pseudo-chronological order. I am your host this week, Liliana Wright. I'm here with Alessio Summerfield.
Hey, I thought I'd stumbled into a boxing match for a second.
Let's get ready for James Reichmuth.
That's right. I think this game is turning me into a zoning planner the further that I get into it.
Okay.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. I like the
Accompanying
sound
me
of
on this
that.
episode is sake over rocks with some
Nice.
lemon juice.
Ooh,
Alessio,
very nice.
This is not only a chronicle of our time with Death Stranding 2, but a chronicle of Alessio's descent into alcoholism.
Yeah, straight up. This is the classy version of the crispy pop.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
It's just
got
ice in a glass.
You can't go wrong.
I've got a blueberry pomegranate smoothie from 7 Brew Coffee.
Oh,
I have
Because I went to go get a 7 Brew Coffee today, and they had an extra smoothie they didn't mean to make, and they said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "Sure." So now I have a smoothie.
Yeah, actually, Alessio, you might be able to speak to this. I'm drinking Kirkland Italian sparkling water. So I don't know if you
The
know
finest.
the
Yeah,
source
it's
that this
authentic.
came from.
yeah, it's authentic. It came from my bathroom.
So, that's a Italian boy bathwater right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Coming to a store near you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming to
no.
Death Stranding Chapter 5. Death Stranding 2, Episode
God.
5.
Got to deliver the Italian boy bathwater to James's house.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, we're here to talk about Death Stranding 2, chapters 3 and 4. And just as a clarifying thing, the trophies do pop at a very weird fucking times
They do
in
be popping.
this video game, and so at one point they do be popping. They do be popping. I don't know what that was. They are popping at like really weird times. I know at one point we said that we were going to do it based on the trophy pops, but because of like when they pop, this chapter isn't close to over. So we're
Yeah,
doing
true.
it. We're doing it when you see the chapter title of the next chapter. That's where we're cutting discussions. And I think we might have even said that already too. But just to be clear,
So we're including the vestibule between the two chapters.
the
The secret
breezeway.
the vest of Buell,
Yes.
as it were.
The vestibule. Best of Yule.
It was the best of Buells. It was the worst of Buells. Amen.
All opposed? All in favor? I do have one more thing. So if you're a patron, you've already seen discussion of this. We didn't intend for these episodes to be so gosh darn long.
The self-censor is crazy.
Oh yeah. You can tell I have a child in my house.
Mind if I praise God for a minute? Gosh darn.
Praise gosh.
But yeah. Y'all mind if I praise Josh for a minute? I'm sorry. This is a punchy day. Drake can fuck
All
off.
right.
This is just Josh.
No, he had bad things happen to him.
It's true.
Anyway,
be nice
so
to
the intent was not to come out the gate with 3-hour episodes, but these episodes we're gonna say chapters for the game, even though they're episodes. The chapters in the game are meatier than we expected. I'm gonna give part 1 a pass because it was the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try our best. This episode, fucking chapter 3 and chapter 4 are huge, so brace for it. It might be another 3-hour one. But we pulled the
sickos like it when they're long.
Yeah. We pulled the patrons. So if you're not a patron, just know that the secret committee of patrons is steering everything in this show because they love it. They sent us all their sick fantasies, and they all included 3+ hour podcast episodes.
And to be clear here, that was a poll that did go out to all patrons, including free ones that do not
true.
like pay for anything.
So free patrons are also in the cabal.
Oh, so maybe another great way to get involved and to impact the show would be even signing up for a free patron for it.
Patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays. Check it out.
You know what? I'll dig up some shit to just post on that free one every once in a while.
Yeah,
I'll go find something. Yeah. So I mean, I can't tell you what it's going to be, but there might be some fun.
You never know. That's part of the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I take a lot of selfies now.
Yeah.
It's
So
like a wonder
maybe
ball in there.
Yeah. Whoa, what's in a wonder ball?
I like that Lily just low-key tried to turn it into her OnlyFans.
Yeah.
No,
very
not like that. Not like that.
Very smooth.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, those are those 2 disclaimers that are somewhat fun. We have a kind of not fun disclaimer. I'm going to give it a real quick 60 seconds on my end, and then Lily, I will pass you the mic. I'll pass you the hot mic. So nobody's been a dick, but somebody did say a thing, and we just want to get ahead of it. So somebody was like, yo, wish they'd be less political. I'm not going to get crazy. I'm not going to pull out a shovel and keep digging, but I'm just going to say we are human beings with opinions. And if you like what we're doing and you like hearing us talk, you will know, and surely if you've listened to us this long, you do know that our personal philosophies are going to come out whether you like it or we like it or not.
Yep.
We are not going to censor ourselves. We are not going to... This isn't a political show, so like we're not going to fucking do a 30-minute sit down on legislation that's currently in the House that people need to fucking go read up on or ask people to call their senators or whatever.
That's right.
But when it impacts us and when it's our like just feelings on things, like I'm not going to sit here and not fucking say how I feel. So just that's pretty much it. That's my piece on it. If you have a problem with that, like I'm super sorry.
But
I
want to add something too that I think inherently that we don't really bring this up a lot. Hideo Kojima's video games are inherently political.
Well,
like,
this episode of this game is especially
very especially so. But like, not even thinking about like Metal Gear, like all of his games have like very, very heavy undercurrents of politics and like world news and everything like that. So it's very strange to be like, well, this is an escape from the world. It's like, no, it's not. It's actively commentating on things that are happening.
It's a reflection.
Right the fuck now. It's a mirror.
I mean,
we'll talk about mirrors this episode too. There's lots of mirrors happening in this episode anyway. But it's a mirror of the world we live in.
Well, and if anything, it's showing you like the furthest into the negative that things can go. So it's like extra political, extra spicy. I mean, Kojima's on an interview tour for this game right now and is talking like mad shit about AI and current politics and all kinds of shit.
Praise be.
Yes,
Nice patina.
but yeah. So all that to say, we're not going to go out of our way specifically to do anything. I just and no, I'm not mad at the person who left the comment. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. Just like I hope that you're okay with me saying whatever the fuck I want to say. But I'm just gonna say that, like, when people use the phrase, "Why'd you have to get political?" Like, that tells me that you're not talking about politics.
Mhm.
You think I'm stirring a fucking pot, and I am not stirring a pot. I am just telling you how I feel, because rationally speaking, it shouldn't be controversial to say I care about other human beings. So anyway, all that aside,
And that's the thing too. And life's politics. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
I do want to add something.
Yeah, please.
On top of that, speaking of which, one thing in life that is not politics, and I'm getting ahead of this because like people have been generally fine about this, is people living their fucking life the way that they want to fucking live it and the way that they need to live it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I very proudly, when we came back to do this podcast, came out as a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that has been on my soul for as long as I can remember. And it just kind of had to happen. And it had to finally just be what it was. I dare anybody to have a problem with that, quite frankly. I really do. Because if you if you're somebody who's listening to this podcast and is like, oh, I feel weird about Sam being a woman now. If you're that type of, but just fucking keep your goddamn mouth shut. Go away. We don't want you here. You can kiss my fucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Leave people alone. I'm very, like, today, we're recording this on a really fucking specific day. As far as politics go.
Oh yeah.
And I'm feeling some type of way about it. So if you've got a problem with me existing authentically or anybody else existing authentically the way that they are doing it, it doesn't fucking harm you or anybody else, go the fuck away, shut the fuck up, and kiss my fucking ass. Please.
And consider donating $10 a month to the Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays. Thank you. You could see me. You can see my face as I ranted about that. So,
Can I say one quick thing?
Of course.
Yes, James.
I would
what if I was just like, no?
None
no,
for James. From you
said
today.
enough.
You know what you did. I would just encourage anyone who feels that emotion come up where they feel like a pot is being stirred to really take a beat and be curious about that feeling, and remember that the people that you're potentially feeling that towards are not as different from you as it might feel. And you might want to have a conversation with someone who's not exactly like you, because we're all kind of in this world fighting to survive together. And also, like, fucking don't come for Lily. Lily's incredible. You love this podcast. You love Lily. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and like, I can't read your fucking thoughts. I can't. I don't know what your beliefs are, mystery listener. But regardless of what they are, just don't say shitty things.
Yeah.
Hard stop. Like, whoever you are, wherever you are.
And again, it's really, really important to note that we are not, like, if you're listening, we are not talking about this specific person that left the comment here.
No. I don't even
kind
know
of
who
like
the fuck that person is.
Yeah, that's not.
And it's
like,
months
we're
old.
not. Yeah, at this point, it's like it was back in like
For
May.
anyone
Like we're
who
not
has
like
it on their heart.
yes, we're not like directly targeting this at like this one person that left.
Everyone who's
like,
ever left a review, like we've asked you to, get fucked.
Get fucking out of here.
Well, if you made it this many episodes in and you hate trans people, then like, geez, I don't know
what the fuck to tell you. If you've got some issue, if you got issues there, then you got way more. It's one of those things where it's just like, I don't understand a particular type of person that can listen to this podcast for such a long time and be like, I hold these beliefs.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what we're about, and you know who we are, and we've explained
Yeah.
everything from here to fucking Saturday.
Right? It's
It's
not
just
a
like, I don't.
surprise.
Yeah, like we're not like this isn't
Yeah.
like you listen to this podcast for a reason. You know what we're about, and we've always been about that. And we have not been shy about being about that ever. So I don't know what that's the thing. It's just like, I don't know what you want from us. We're gonna continue being the people that we are, you know?
I love imagining just this is somebody's first episode and they're just really scared.
This will be the time. It's like, hey, how do you feel about long episodes? I don't know, but they went on a really wild rant at the top of this one. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about non-political video games. Oh wait,
Pong. Today we're talking about Pong.
Yeah, we're talking about Tetris. No,
Tetris is incredibly
about Tetris. Incredible. Soviet, Soviet is like, y'all,
don't get me started on Tetris. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. To quote one Snow Bike Mike Howard from Kind of Funny, y'all don't play Tetris. Y'all don't play Tetris like that. You know,
That's right.
So now that we are firmly in story time. We're talking about Death Stranding 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. I have formulated a theory. And again, this comes from legitimately nothing beyond what I've seen in the first 4 chapters. I had self-control, unlike my cohorts here. And I remained within the first 4 chapters for this session. I have a theory.
Mine was an accident.
I know. I have a theory about the robot samurai that you encountered in chapter 1, Alessio.
That's so crazy, by the way.
It's so crazy.
I've been thinking about that for a while.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, well, I know who this is. And you were just like, I think it's Higgs. And I was like, well, no, it can't be Higgs because this is Higgs. And then we indeed run into Higgs this episode.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, you're in it.
I love the idea. Well, you best start believing in spoilers because, sorry, you're in it.
You're in one. So,
are you going to tell me that it's Hideo Kojima?
No, I'm going to tell you something even crazier. So this entire chapter, we've been getting hints about Sam's psyche, and multiple characters have been like, there's nothing in that BB pod. And we've been assuming that that's Lou this entire time, and Lou's somewhere, and we don't know where Lou is. Lou's the fucking samurai. Lou's the robot samurai. I'm calling it. Like, listen, I'm fucking Babe Ruth calling my shot. That fucking robot is Lou. That's that fucking baby. The baby spirit is in the robot. The baby spirit is in the robot.
Every single one of Lily's theories is that somebody is Lou. Tomorrow is Lou. I'm going to posit my own theory. Here's my theory. Tarman's right hand is Lou.
I am like, so it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know why. It's the dumbest fucking idea in the world, and that's why I'm very confident about it.
Yeah. Tarman's son got timefalled rained on so hard he became a baby and went the other way.
Yeah.
I really like that theory. It's also better than mine. I feel like every unknown character I meet, I'm trying to figure out, is this Mama or is this Die Hard Man? They were in the credits, and I'm like, where are they?
Yeah, every unknown character I run into, I'm just like, when are you going to take the mask off and reveal that you're fucking like, I don't like Ray Liotta or some random celebrity?
This is actually Ray Liotta's final performance.
I was gonna say, yeah, not whatever that Roque City, whatever the fuck video game it was. Yeah. It was Crime Boss Roque City.
That's Michael Madsen. Michael Madsen.
Oh, who also? He did die today. That's wild.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
It was Michael Madsen. I was thinking about. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, let's talk more about how I fucked that joke way up. Who's the guy that's in Smokey and the Bandit. Why did I just?
Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
Burt Reynolds. I was about to say,
Yeah.
let's talk about Burt Reynolds' guest appearance in this episode.
Yeah, Turd Ferguson. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it makes the most sense.
There's so many dead people because Turd Ferguson was played by fucking Norm Macdonald, who played Burt Reynolds. Who
Oh no,
is also dead. All of these people are dead. What the fuck is going on?
They're all the whales on the beach.
Oh, Jesus, those are the extinction entities. Fucking Burt Reynolds,
Norm Macdonald,
Michael Madsen, and Ray Liotta.
Norm Macdonald is just like fucking elbowing Michael Madsen, and he's being like,
"Hey,
see this
extinction,
guy?
right? Extinction, huh? What's up with that?"
God.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
we've got to start talking about this video game.
Yes, correct. So we pick back up. I say we pick back up on the ship, which is where I stopped.
Yeah.
I sat on that weird grayscale bed that we never see again. I kind of miss the grayscale.
Yeah, it was.
Monotone.
Well, they explained.
Was
that
this
as like
grayscale motif in the first game? I did not remember.
No, the
that.
grayscale thing is when they're in the tar, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mid movement.
Okay.
I think the grayscale in the first one was like very specific instances, like on the beach,
Yeah, that makes
on the
sense.
beaches. But this is like, like Alessio said, this is them to for the Magellan to like travel. It like bathes in chiralium under the tar, and that's how it gets around. And so when they're under the tar, everybody's there is gray, like their skin is gray, everything is gray, and there's like this cool like underwater like seafloor ambiance, like kind of dancing around.
Kojima wanted to put them in like Gen 1 Pokemon Jinx blackface originally, but they had to take it back.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason I was
reel it
curious about it is in chapter 2 when you're getting that message from Deadman, he's in grayscale in the message for part of it, and so I was trying for part of it, only for part of it. And so I was trying to place that. I was like, oh, what's going on there?
Which part was it? Like at the end?
Yeah, it was just for like
I wonder if it's
couple
because
of-
whenever he's on the beach. Or
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It must be.
Oh,
that.
right, because Heartman was in grayscale too. Whenever he was on the beach with his wife, that's right.
Oh, no shit. Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember now.
Okay, yeah. You're so right. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, we're grayscale at the beach.
Nice.
Yeah.
So real quickly before we get into introducing this fucking little piece of shit,
I kind of like him. I hate to say it. I kind of am falling for that little guy.
I actually have a pretty major gripe with this little fuck.
Well, hold on.
Ooh, okay.
Let's hold the phone.
Back up.
Let's hold the phone really quickly. I have to share something with you guys because I was kind of starting to come around on him too.
Yeah.
And then I noticed something that kind of scared the shit out of me.
Was it him in the fucking mirror every time?
No. Hold on.
Ugh.
Let me see if I can. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Oh, fuck. This might be never mind. I just realized that this might be a spoiler for Lily.
And the listener, Alessio.
Yeah, never mind. I forgot. It's literally like fucking 10 minutes after the stopping point.
We better tune in next week, y'all.
Yeah. But yes, continue.
What I was talking about is like, so when he gets introduced, and we'll talk about it specifically in a second, whenever you use the mirror to wash your face, you're just like the idle animation, Sam just looking in the mirror. Doll Man is like on the shelf behind you, just like shrouded in shadow, and it objectively sucks. Like it sucks so bad, it looks really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing I
little thing.
The thing I wanted to talk about before that though is they give you the new VR missions, which are sick as fuck. But can we just camp out? I can't remember if it was in the original missions that we did or not. But like the music is so fucking good in those VR missions.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Like I could do them forever just to hear that song. But yes, we should probably introduce the cast of characters that we are now.
Yes. So Sam wakes up in his new private room on the Magellan. and he's all gray, and he's Fragile's talking to him on the intercom saying, come up to the deck and meet people. And he is like, where's Lou? She's like, it's okay, I have her, she's up here in the deck with me. He's like, okay. And before we leave, because they talk about like the shower and all the stuff, and this is your new private room, did either of you use the sink before you left the room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you get that fucking hallucination?
Maybe I didn't then. I didn't
Maybe I
realize there was a
Oh
hallucination.
shit.
Yeah, hit us with it.
Before you leave, so
I could have swore I did, but I don't remember anything.
no,
crazy.
you would have. I know you didn't do this because
Got it.
you specifically, Leslie, would have remembered this. But so I went up to the sink and I just used it to wash my face and stuff, and then it does one of those like special scenes, and Lou is in the mirror on the bed behind him.
Oh my god.
And
I did see that.
Yeah, and he whips
Yeah,
around
yeah.
to look, and she's gone.
Super-
and so he
super
just like
frightening.
hallucinates her there.
Well, this is a
I was like,
perfect place for me to
yeah.
insert something else. So, friend of the show, Liquid Metal Mike, he's been playing.
Yeah.
He's been like chatting me, and he goes, "Hey man, next time you should rest near Tar." And I said, "What?" And he's like,
Oh.
"There's an Easter egg." And I was like, "Oh." So I went and I rested near the Tar. Much later, like we'll get into it, but it was like after a certain major encounter. Whenever you're near a lot of Tar, I rested and I audibly gasped because while you're resting, a little like cherub Lou flying with her little wings is just like circling around Sam where he can't see her, just like watching him rest.
Devastating.
And I didn't expect that for some reason. I thought like Sam, like Liquid Sam, would come out of the Tar or something weird. And so as soon as I saw Lou
Liquid Metal
materialize,
Sam.
I was like, and I just like got really sad. I
Yeah.
I wrote Mike
was-
back. I was like, "You're a piece of shit for that."
I was gonna say,
There-
is that your first cry of this episode?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that happens
Yeah.
later, but
Oh,
for
yeah, good
for
point.
this recording, yeah.
It's interesting because like these chapters are like really like it's kind of showing you that Sam is not okay. Like he's still really not okay, and he's kind of like getting these like weird visions, hallucinations, and he sees things that aren't there. There's like a lot of like subtle nods to things and like subtle things that they show you like with visual storytelling, which is like, man, Hideo doing visual storytelling, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Still, you love to see it. But yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, so I just wanted to say about that mirror scene there. It's
Yeah,
very,
for sure.
it scared me. Also, it was very heartbreaking. Yeah, so you go up to the bridge and you talk to Fragile a little bit. And Fragile talks about this benefactor of Drawbridge who's like funding the operation, and she doesn't know who he is or who they are. Never met them before. Sam thinks that it's a big shot from the UCA, and nobody seems
My
to
mind
know.
Immediately went to it's Die Hardman.
For
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely,
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
100%.
1000%.
And there's stuff that makes me think like it's maybe a little. Here in a second, we're gonna meet a just. So I think worse than Doll Man. Quite frankly.
Oh, I'm a huge
Oh,
fan
really?
of Charlie.
Yeah,
Oh,
Charlie's
I don't
good.
like Charlie. Charlie
Dude.
freaks me out more than
The
Doll Man.
smirk
freaks
and the
me out.
sound effect.
Yeah,
Fucking-
the smirk cracks me up.
I do love his like little anime
Yeah.
portrait whenever you
Right?
talk to him on a terminal, though. That's actually very
I
funny.
love
I
that.
like.
Charlie.
I will say, yeah, the mannequin thing is way more unnerving than the.
Yeah, I don't like the
terminal
mannequin.
portrait. The mannequin's kind
Yeah.
of fucked up. I want to punch that thing in the face too. I get that.
we don't meet him until after the gate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
for now-
no, we meet. Do we? I can't remember. No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just say we got to make
Yeah.
tracks and head to the gate. I think
Yes.
at this juncture.
So you go up there. You meet Tarman.
Uh-huh.
Tarman
Feels
played
like a
by the
slur.
very much so. Tarman played by the face of director George Miller, voice and mocap of the lovely Marty Roan, who you will have heard in our interview episode. Alessia's interview with him
It was great.
last episode. Very good interview. Check it out. So we meet Tarman, and then we meet Dollman,
Ugh.
who used to be a spirit medium
Yeah, that's
before
weird.
his
He's
but his
literally a
Ka-
Goosebumps episode. He's
Yeah,
100%
yeah.
a Goosebumps episode.
Yeah, he used to be a spirit medium before his ka was trapped in a puppet. And we don't know how his ka got trapped in a puppet yet,
Or why?
but or
Well,
why.
Probably the same way that one person's ka got trapped in Fragile's extra hands. Like something weird's
True,
going on.
real, true.
Or like that one time that guy's cock got caught in my mouth.
If there's one thing I know about Alessio Summerfield, he's always got ka in his mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
That's one thing about AC you gotta know.
Can you imagine if it's like, oh, we're just trying to say car. We're just all from Boston.
Ka. I gotta get this ka in my mouth. That doesn't work. I don't know, sussy. But yeah, so there. Go ahead, James. Sorry.
No, I was just about to say I enjoy this moment of like meeting the crew, and I kind of like the dichotomy of you have Sam who's maybe experienced the worst trauma yet in a life already full of trauma, and you've got this crew that's just like, hey, fucking don't worry about that for now. We gotta fix Australia.
Yeah.
We gotta fix this.
Well, and Dollman very explicitly, like, in his appearance, like immediately, he's essentially Fragile's like, oh, here's Dollman, and Dollman like immediately just like whispers to Fragile, is this the fucking weirdo with the dead baby? Like,
basically,
like almost exactly.
Because like Dollman
has no room to talk. Period.
Well, so Dollman like blurts out or like starts to blurt out that the BB pod is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing in the BB
Sam is holding
pod.
on to the BB pod. If we didn't end last episode with that.
So like these visions of like the weird octopus tentacle and everything he's seeing ostensibly are not real. Like he's like imagining this as like a coping mechanism, probably. But Dollman almost blurts this out. Fragile shushes him and like, play along. And then Dollman then suggests that they take Lou on an adventure to link up Australia, just like the old times.
Yeah.
It made me really sad. Like the whole time that he was like talking about it, I was like, it's kind of why I'm still not okay with the Dollman, because I was like, that's kind of fucked up, dude.
It was kind of fucked up. It felt like real, like of mice and men. Like, just look at the flowers. We'll go for a nice jaunt, just 100%. Like old times.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, come on, Dollman. Like,
but it's one of those things too, where it's just like
a fucking doll, dude. Like, shut up.
Well, because here's the thing: is like the thing of it is like Dollman was ready to just like give up the ghost on it, right? Mm-hmm. But Fragile seems to be the one that's like play the game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily put it on Dollman. I cannot believe that I'm defending Dollman right now, but I do kind of like that little fucker. I cannot lie.
I really like Tarman. I know I've said
Tarman is great.
Tarman's sick.
I know I said this on the intro to the interview, but I could listen to that man's voice all day. Like,
I don't think that I really knew what Marty sounded like ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like ahead of the interview and ahead of playing the game. It's very relaxing. Very calming. It's a very calming voice. Tarman's sick. I wish somebody would explain what the fuck this cat's doing.
Yeah, he's got a tar cat.
Yeah, with devil wings.
Yeah. And a real nasty tongue.
Yeah. And then I will say my thing about the cat again when we get to the section where we like get some of his backstory and stuff. But I want to know what that cat's about.
Which I think, and I'm not positive about this because I haven't looked, but I think that like that section where you get some of his backstory, I think you can also miss that.
What?
I don't think it forces you.
You have to like pick up the book. No, you don't have to. I'm saying you have to pick up the book to get it, and you don't have to pick up the book.
Are you fucking kidding?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Why is there so much optional shit in this game? That's crazy. Kojima.
I don't know.
What's happening at home, baby? Are you okay,
man? What's going on? He's got a wife and kids, and now he's got to chill the fuck out.
It's crazy. Also,
I did want
everybody
to
in
mention
this fucking game loses kids, but we'll talk about that.
This is like something that maybe. It's time for news, Kojima news, like that type of thing. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Microsoft publishing contract for OD isn't a thing anymore.
Oh, did that guy?
So-
was
I did
that
not
part
see
of
that.
the cuts because they want to put all
Yes.
their money towards AI?
I don't even know if it's part of the cuts, but yeah, there's just news that if it's still a rumor at this point, but if it seems pretty legit. But if it's true, like Microsoft isn't publishing OD anymore, and
Oh,
Kojima's
yeah.
the productions is shopping it around for publishing,
Oh,
which you'd have to
Good.
imagine it would end up at PlayStation Studios
At
at
this
that point.
point.
But yeah,
what
that's
if? Hold
that
on,
might
hear
have
me
been
out.
why.
Hear me out.
Oh, God.
What if Konami publishes it?
That's
Oh,
exactly,
God,
that's exactly what came to my
whoa.
mind. I was like, this is like maybe the
Whoa.
perfect time to reconcile. It's like, hey,
Maybe
Microsoft is
he's doing
shit the
visual
bed.
storytelling. He's doing optional
Yeah.
content.
Delta's about to come out. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Let's all
growth.
hug it out. Let's bring the
Yeah.
gang
Growth.
back together.
Yeah, I was curious if Konami had gone under new management as of late, but no, it's the same people that fired Kojima. So
Okay, well,
we'll see.
Fucking bizarre.
yeah,
One thing
that just felt like the time to bring
Yeah.
that up because
Oh no, for sure. Yeah. I now I wonder if OD is not going to come out until after Fizzant.
Well, that's what I'm wondering because we talked about that a little bit, where it's just like why would he talk about Fizzant being so and so years away, and where does that put OD? But it's like maybe OD's further off than we think because of
Maybe he
the
knew
Microsoft
about this
stuff.
beforehand.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I will say this though: the one cool thing about Tarman that we haven't mentioned is he is missing his right hand.
Yeah,
and
that
when
fucking
he-
prosthesis is dope.
Yeah, when he shoves his stump into
And
the
he starts talking
ship.
about phantom pain.
Phantom
And it's
pain?
Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
Yeah, but he shoves his
It was
stump
like-
into the ship and he controls it by
Yeah.
his right hand that is
Yeah.
floating around in the tar somewhere.
hmm
Yeah.
So
I do like that he brought up the Phantom Pain. It's like he was like, and sometimes I can fail the Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain.
That's what it felt like. I feel like they put such
Yeah.
emphasis on the word phantom and pain where I was like, I get it.
they even put it in quotes. They
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
in fucking quotes.
yeah. That's a big time reference.
Yes.
Did you guys see that part where Fragile came out of the bathroom and Sam asked what she was doing and she said that she was trying to clean up her ground zeros? You guys remember that part?
I thought you were serious
No,
for
no,
a second. I did like when Dollman talked about his family and his Sons of Liberty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Since we're talking about a lot of this stuff, let's talk about these books real quick. I know it happens later, but we just alluded to it.
Yeah.
So at a certain point in Sam's private room in the ship, which is starting to feel like this room is going to be there for a lot of the game, because it kind of like things continue to happen. But you get given a book. You were gifted a book by they say a book. You have two books that you can read.
Yeah.
But it's Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so fucking on the nose. So like every time you interact with the quote unquote books, it just refers to the whole shelf as like read books.
Yeah.
But you can pull out either Moby Dick or Frankenstein.
I haven't gotten Frankenstein.
You can
haven't seen
exhaust
Frankenstein.
it. So if you sit there and just keep telling it to read, he'll pull one or the other. And every time he pulls one, Dollman says something else. And I think it's 3 messages per book is what I've gotten so far.
Okay.
But so on the Moby Dick one, Dollman does a whole fucking monologue. So hold on. At first, Psychopath Sam starts reading a new book in the middle of the book.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, what are you doing?
Kill myself.
That guy, he cannot read.
Yeah.
Well, then Dollman's
Sam
just
can't
telling
read.
him.
Dollman's reading his book.
Out of the book.
But Dollman's like, oh yes, Moby Dick, the book where Pequod and Ishmael, like literally just fucking. He goes on a whole thing about Pequod.
Yep.
But then at a certain point, when he's talking about Frankenstein, there's a whole monologue about Kojima Productions.
Yep.
What?
What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, oh, it reminds me of Kojima Productions. And then he's like, oh, you wouldn't know what that is, would you, Sam? And I'm like, what?
Yep.
And then there was another one. Let me see if I can find the third one. That it's like every time you read a book, meta shit happens.
Meta Gear.
So, he talks about Elle Fanning too. So when you read Frankenstein, Dollman goes, Oh, yes, and there was a film adaptation in 2024 starring Elle Fanning. Why does that name sound familiar? And I'm like,
He had to do it. He couldn't put the AMC commercials in again, and so he's like, I gotta find a way to reference a property.
100%. But yeah, so anyway, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. But as he was reading Moby Dick, I was like, oh, of course he got Moby Dick from Tarman because like Ahab,
Yeah, right.
like, he's missing a leg, but he's missing an arm, and like they're the sole survivors of accidents with giant creatures, blah blah blah. Like, anyway, my question is, do you think we're going to get renowned Scandinavian game director Joachim Mogren in this?
Oh God, I hope so.
Who could
Just
say?
Peppers? How funny would that be?
That would be very funny.
I'm just
The
waiting for
bandages
them
and
to
everything.
start calling Tarman Punished Tarman.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down for punished Tartar.
Punish Tartar Man? Did you say Tartar Man?
Ooh, I might have.
Beef Tartar
I
Man?
might have.
I like Tartar.
Beef
Man.
tartar, man.
Oh, I had
Tartar.
donkey tartar one time.
Ooh, what?
That was a weird one. Thanks, Sicily, for your fucking donkey and horse meat.
Donkey sauce.
But yeah, so essentially we get tasked by Dollman. As we mentioned, Dollman goes full sociopath and is like, yes, Sam, Lou would want you to go to Australia. And Tarman's like, I'm from Australia. I am critically acclaimed Australian director George Miller. and and Fragile's like, I now wear this cool officer's hat and we should go to Australia. And so everybody says, let's go to Australia, but we got to take the creepy gate. And you're like, oh. And they're like, it's all the way at the tippy bottom of Mexico.
The tippy bottom.
You know, directly below where you talk to Dead Man.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yep.
all of Mexico you can see with your eyes from the start of the game, I guess.
Pretty odd, but okay.
Yeah.
A
Very
little
small.
strange.
Mexico.
A little
Yeah,
strange.
yeah. But so we go to the gate. Let's talk about this fucking gate. This
Yeah.
gate's
Yes.
crazy.
Okay. Well, I do want to just one final thing. Well, one pretty important thing. One very like weird. Is Sam just using spray paint to dye his hair?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that
I was
part.
trying to figure that out too. What was that?
Yeah,
Yes,
because it's like,
right
okay,
before
we're gonna
we head to the
go.
gate. Yeah.
You go to the room. You go to the sink. There's a prompt to like clean yourself up and like dye your hair.
Yeah, that's
And
what I
Sam
thought
just
you were
w-
talking about, but that's after
No,
the meeting,
no,
right?
that's after. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes and he pulls out a can of just fucking black spray paint and just go fucking dyes his hair back again. Okay, I guess
Does
that's
that
how they
mean
do it.
Sam was also gray haired in the first game, or did he get gray haired in 11?
No, I think he's just like a
going
weird
through it.
anomaly of a human, and he went through it for a month, and he just went gray. That'll happen.
Cool.
But yeah, so that happens, and then you like gear up, and Dahlman's like, "Hey, I'll go with you," and Sam's like, "Okay," and then he and it's like, and it winds up being kind of a reference to God of War, but he goes to put Dahlman on his ass where Mimir sits in God of War.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
And Dahlman's like, posterior, Sam, really? I ride shotgun. And then so Dahlman goes on the front. It's a little like quip.
it's funny that you made the Mimir comment too, because like, so Sam Lemke, a listener of the show, wrote me and was like, "Oh, did you see the God of War joke?" And I was like, "No, is it a Ragnarok thing? Because I haven't played Ragnarok." And he was like, "No. Like Dahlman pretty much like alludes to like where Kratos put Mimir's head," and I'm just like, "Oh, is that what that is?" So yeah, I guess I just it flew right over my head.
And it's we talked about this before, but we're gonna meet the president this chapter.
Yeah,
and he's played by Alistair Duncan, who played Mimir in God of War.
And he's also real fucking creepy in this game.
Yes. Yeah. I don't like the president.
Sinister feeling.
Yeah.
I don't like the president, and that has nothing to do with current politics. But then, so Dahlman's going with you. You go up on the elevator to like leave the Magellan, and the whole goal is, okay, you have to go through the plate gate, connect a terminal in Australia, and then we'll be able to take the Magellan to Australia. We can kind of like follow you as you go. And so you go up the elevator and you hook up the BB pod that once again is empty. Sam sees it as something that's as Lou's in there or BB's in there.
Yeah.
But it is empty.
Yeah, Lou
hook it up.
Circa 11 months prior.
Right. And then you see a vision. So much like the first game, when he would hook up to the pod, you would see like visions of like Cliff and like what was going on with Cliff, you see visions now of what we can only assume and we'll discover a little bit later is a character that we're going to meet soon.
What's interesting to me too, though, is like, so in the first game, it was revealed that like we're seeing Cliff from Sam's perspective. Like Sam is the baby.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But then in this game, Dollman makes a whole point to be like, oh, you know that thing that happens when porters connect their BBs and then they start to have like memory bleed and they think they are their BBs. I'm like, yeah, but that's not what happened in the first game.
Right.
No.
Oh, that is weird.
And Dollman also sees this vision.
Well, so that's what I'm super confused by, because
Dollman seeing the vision was confusing.
Especially some of the future visions.
Yeah.
He's just like, wow, that was crazy. And like, that's it. But I'm like, dude, what? There are so many fucking questions. Are you crazy?
I've got a ton of questions about this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, Dollman, why are you not asking more? And then he says certain things that almost makes it seem as if he doesn't see them. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Like, which is it?
My thought about it too is like, so they introduced like he was a spirit medium. He can't do that anymore though, but I wonder if there's still like some like residual shit left over from when he was a spirit medium that he's able to kind of like detect that stuff. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's very weird. It's very strange. And maybe that's the reason why like it's so inconsistent about like how he's responding to it, because like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, type deal. But
have you guys I know some of them have to be scripted, but do they happen? I'm trying to think of how many I got. I think I might have gotten like 4.
I got like 3 or 4, yeah.
Of the Quakes?
Of the visions.
The visions. The visions. Sorry, I started thinking about weather. I think, I think I've gotten 3. I've definitely rested and not gotten them.
Yeah, same. I just wasn't sure if it was like random or not.
I think there's probably just like a series of them they want you to see, and then you'll see them as you see them.
There's a man in a suit who appears in one of them later when he's like, pretty.
I thought it was Conan. Very like quick for like a split second. I thought it was Conan.
It reminds me of Stellan Skarsgård, the guy.
From
like Thor and Nymphomaniac and stuff. His voice sounded a lot like him, and the face looked similar. So I was like, "Is he like secretly in this game? Like, what the fuck was
Stellan
that?"
Skarsgård cameo.
But
that'd be sick.
No, it's good shit to touch on for sure.
Yeah, those visions are interesting. Yeah, I hadn't remembered that. Those visions are Sam in the first game.
Yeah, well, it's also because I can't remember if I was talking to Mike or Sam or somebody else. Ivan, who I found out from watching Anora, that Ivan is pronounced Yvonne. So sorry about that, Yvonne. But anyway, Yvonne, long time.
Listen. Do we know that he pronounces it?
I
asked. Are you just taking it off?
No, okay. He said that's the Russian pronunciation.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so Yvonne and I were talking, and I think he might have been the one to mention it. But he was reminding me that the C-section scar on Sam is where he got shot when they killed Mads. Because they shot like through the BB pod or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm wondering too, it's just like, so like that was the connection and that was what he was seeing. And now he's seeing from, it's Neil. We'll just say the name because we've known about like this perspective, whatever. I'm wondering if somehow this, and because they keep on bringing it up and they talk about it in Australia about like, oh, we did some research and this and BB-28 and blah blah blah. I was like, we already knew this stuff, so why are you bringing it up again? They seem very like they want to hit that note about BB-28, and I'm wondering if somehow this pod was the real BB-28's pod, and we're getting visions based on that BB's relationship to Neil.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where
like
did
BB-28 was associated.
Pod come from?
We don't have no idea. That's why I'm like it's just maybe that could be it. Like it could be they left it for purposes, but like I'm wondering like maybe this is actually they're really hammering the BB-28 thing home, and so I'm wondering if maybe this is BB-28's pod, and BB-28 is like Neil's kid or something.
Yeah,
and we're seeing Neil's stuff through.
Well, based on something that's about to happen with this gate, I now have a harebrained theory.
Do you want to get to it, and then we'll talk about the theory?
Yeah.
Let's head over.
So we got to
let's
go
head
to the
over there.
gate. As I mentioned, all you got to do is go south of the furthest you went before you went back.
It's not a super tricky walk.
I
will
don't think they have
say,
to go
like,
all the way back. I think they park the ship like right outside.
oh, they do, like right
Yeah,
near you.
yeah.
The walk, like cresting the hill and seeing hearing the title track, the Caroline Polachek song,
Pretty cool.
and like seeing the gate and like everything is like really fucking cool.
Oh no, it's the gate
Yeah.
is fucking sick. And then not only that, but I would say this is like the most metal shit in DS2 so far.
Right?
It's like all the people in red fucking emerging
So
from the
fucking
ground
Yeah.
and carrying this coffin to the gate.
Yeah.
Yes. What are
God,
they
it's
up
so
to?
dramatic. I cannot wait to
Yeah.
to talk about like the payoff to that because it's so
It's
cool.
so good. It's so fucking good.
But
yeah, so there's just this gigantic fucking gate that, like, for all you Zoomers out there, it looks like a fucking void gate from Minecraft, kind of, or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my dad moment.
Yeah.
But it's just like this gigantic, like, rock formation that looks what were a gate. And you actually can't see anything, right? It just looks normal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But as you get closer, you realize it's like a reflection of the light that is coming through it. So
Running up to it
a
also
black hole.
feels like you're like running up to like you're doing a run up to like the final boss of a Dark Souls game. Like I
Yeah,
felt like
it
I was
really
about to
Oh,
fight
yeah.
Gale, like Slave Knight Gale at the end of that run up. It's
Yeah,
it's very striking.
It felt like the great old one from Demon Souls for sure. Like the beach
Mhm.
even felt the same. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, you just come to this fucking creepy thing. You see this cutscene of these people who just like don't even pay you any fucking mind. Like they just don't even care.
Yeah, they're busy.
And they just walk straight through. And Sam even goes, he's like, we're just gonna let them go. Like they're clearly the
What
fucking
the fuck do you want to
really
do? It's
bad
like, huh?
people. And I think it's Fragile. Fragile's like, oh, we don't plan on policing the gate. We just want to know, like, the UCA just wants to utilize the gate.
Yeah, we can track the people who go through it, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
we
okay.
And Sam's like, why don't we just stop them? They're right
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
when you-
very sus about the UCA's motivations behind the scene and like really questioning Fragile at this point.
Yeah, like I don't know what Fragile's deal is. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of weird stuff with her.
I'm like,
I'm
I
gonna
thought we were
jump-
butts.
I'm going to jump ahead just a quick second because there's a comment that gets made later that very much so confused me.
Yeah.
So they make a comment about how everybody has their own beaches, right?
Yep.
Everybody has their own beaches, but all the beaches are connected to like this higher beach, this like upper
Yes.
beach.
The upper beach.
But then they talk about how like this doomsday prophecy or this plan that potentially these people in red, definitely Higgs from the first game, whatever, in general, this like death cult wants it so that all of the beaches are connected, and then all the BTs from the upper beach are going to come down and just decimate everyone.
Yeah.
When they talk about connecting all the beaches, they talk about using the chiral network. Why are we connecting the whole planet if it's going to lead to extinction?
Right?
Yeah.
Why is Sam just going along with this?
Yeah. It's a big question for me as well. And it's
very
like
confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting too because it almost feels like one thing that I don't know if I'm observing this intentionally or not, but like I've noticed with Dollman that from the moment the Dollman's introduced, Norman Reedus is much quieter, which I think like reflects like the trauma that he's really feeling in a big way.
Yeah.
But it does make me wonder if like they're pulling a like, oh yeah, like Sam's now like caught up in this and he's so like traumatized that he's not really questioning what's going on and just being like shepherded along. And I'm wondering if it's going to bring us to like a like he kind of snaps out of it point.
I'm like in a weird like this is almost like I'd say like 99.99999% not true. But like what if Dollman isn't actually talking and this is Sam communicating through a puppet to deal with his trauma?
No,
What if Sam's just sitting in his fucking apartment the whole game?
Yeah.
I think I figured it out.
The Upper East Side, just like fucking in his underwear.
What if Dollman's Lou?
Lily's gone. I like that Lily just tried to like Yakuza slam the
Right?
door,
It
and
was
yet
like
the door just like shut
It very gracefully shut.
gracefully.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That was great. Oh, goodness.
That fucking sucks, Jay.
That's so funny. I will say this. Going back to Kojima being on his interview tour right now, one of the things he was talking about was that he views AI as a bad thing, not because it's AI, not because of this, not because of that, but because essentially what it's doing is it's contributing to this greater issue of people not making decisions or choices or anything in life. They are just on a predetermined path. And that AI just nudges you into a life without even questioning it, just based on the answers that it's giving you. And he made a comment about how that comes up in this game. So I do wonder if the whole like you being shepherded towards a thing is like legitimately like a thing that we're going to run into.
Well, it's also too, it's like the whole like we're talking about like extinction events and like things being shepherded, like it's fucking manifest destiny. Like we're talking like just being shepherded to the end. Like it makes a lot of sense.
It's crazy. And we're going to get into this for real in a big moment here in a bit. But like, if you control what the shepherding text tells people, then like you control everything. So I'm looking at you, Sam Altman, you motherfucker.
Right.
Jesus.
But anyway, so yeah, as you get closer to this gate, Sam's taking a look at it. He's like, fuck, he's feeling kind of weird about going through it, as would I. But I wanted to point this out because this is part of the theory that I have about the BB pod. As you get close to the gate, Lily, I think you and I talked about this off mic, so I think you did see this as well.
Yes.
But if you look in the reflection of the gate, the BB pod that Sam has connected to him has a bullet hole in it and is cracked and has blood on it. And because of what we just talked about, I think the BB pod he has might be his old BB pod. Maybe. I don't know if he's hanging on to it, if it made its way to him.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can tie back whatever the fuck's going on to those red cloak people.
Yeah, they had to have left it. Also, don't connect random BB pods you've never seen before to your body.
No.
Are you stupid?
Right.
But
also,
yeah, then we
thank you both. I had a lot of confusion about what the fuck was going on with the BB pod in general. I was like,
okay.
it is empty, because you can like, and when you're in like your little room, you can like make them coo and whatnot.
Yeah,
lose. And I was
I
like,
think
wait
he's
a
just
second.
fucking losing his mind. I literally think he's just fucking.
I'm fully on board with that now, and yeah.
Well, and on top of all that too, though, like,
did it revert into a baby? It's like, what the fuck?
I think the game is intentionally being obscure with certain things because, like, listener conversations again, kind of coming back up. Like, I had a conversation with multiple people about, did Fragile teleport Lou away and they just don't know where she is?
Yeah.
Or did she die? Like, what happened? I can't quite understand. Like, she disappeared. People think she's dead. What order did they happen in? And I think that the baby died, quote unquote, like everybody saw the baby die, and then the baby disappeared.
And then the spirit was transferred into the robot. Yes. the car was trapped in the robot.
Yeah. Well, the car happened. The robot happened before, though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe concurrently.
Or time. Listen. Well, listen. Yeah, because listen. No. Because
Lou got plucked from the ether and learned how to use a katana in 3 minutes.
Well, listen. Because you don't run into the fucking big Liden. You don't run into fucking my fucking Charlie Day pinboard back here. You don't run into the red robot things with the dogs at that old bandit camp until after you get the alert that your home is under attack. So by the time the samurai pops up, Lou's fucking bit the dust and is in the robot.
Well, and from my perspective, I personally never met the samurai. So like,
right. So we have no idea. We have no idea when that's supposed to happen.
I don't even know that there is a samurai.
I never met the samurai either. So.
How funny would it be if they're just not in your game anymore moving forward? Like, I'm the only one.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ninja Report with Alessio Sorvin.
And how's your ninja doing today, Alessio?
Yeah, Ninja Watch.
Ninja's doing just great.
Sam and Ninja went and had breakfast at the beach. Yeah, so then we go to Outback.
Yeah.
Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Sam
tell? I'm
just
so
walks
sorry.
through.
I hate to keep on derailing the podcast, but
No,
I
no,
just
you're
read there was a period of time. So the Outback Steakhouse slogan is no rules, just right. Listen, calm down. Listen, calm
hold
down.
on,
Listen.
missed opportunity. I wish Kojima Productions would have gotten Sam a fucking Outback Steakhouse ball cap.
Fuck
Yeah.
Outback.
No, so Outback Steakhouse's slogan is no rules, just right. And for years and years and years and years, I thought that slogan was Applebee's. And it's not. It's Outback Steakhouse. Applebee's is eating good in the neighborhood. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Which neighborhood?
Eating good in the neighborhood. And they have also eating good in the neighborhood. And Outback Steakhouse is no rules, just right. And I figured this out because me and Chelsea went to Outback Steakhouse one time. And that was a mistake. But then we discovered that a mistake when we discovered that I discovered, and then everything in my life was a lie. Also, the person who does the voiceover, the narration for Outback Steakhouse is
Is it Crocodile?
No, it's Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords.
No shit.
Who is not Australian? Yeah, who is not Australian.
He always has done it.
No, I don't know about always, but he's the most recent. Like
that's wild.
Voiceover is Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords.
I fucking love
who
Jermaine
famously is not Australian.
Yeah,
by the way,
famously hates Australians.
Yeah, from New Zealand, which is close but not quite.
Yeah.
Australia.
That's crazy. You know what's funny? This is actually very well timed. I hadn't eaten at an Outback steakhouse in 16 years.
Good.
Prior to last week. I went to an Outback last weekend with my in-laws.
Why? Oh, with your in-laws makes sense. Yeah.
In-laws Edith had Bloomin' Onion.
I was gonna say, did she have some Bloomin' Onion?
Yeah. She didn't like it.
She's afraid of flavor. You know?
No, dude, that girl loves curry and pho and all kinds of crazy shit.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, good for her. God, I wish I was eating pho when I was a baby.
Right?
God, damn.
But anyway, so Australia is hell.
I can't wait to talk about that bushfire. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, you walk out of the fucking gate. You're in Australia. You get this like little tiny brief catch your breath moment where the Magellan lands, and it's like, hey Sam, come hang out with us for a second. And essentially, you hang out, and all they're like is like, we're in Australia now. You should go to this guy. He's trying to start a government in Australia because they don't have one anymore. And you're like, okay. And so you go and you encounter the scariest fucking thing ever. They're just gigantic BTs with crazy fucking eyes.
So scary.
And like the sky turns red and it's raining.
Yeah, that's fucking new. I had to ask. The
It's all
fucking
new.
sky turning red when you go into BT areas, that's fucking frightening.
Yeah, so the sky turns blood fucking red. Then you have these giant creepy. They look like if humanity sprites
Watchers
from Dark Souls.
Oh yeah.
Were gigantic.
Became angrier.
What were a man?
What were a man? Yeah.
But they got these fucking creepy eyes. If they
eyes
don't
are so
see
scary.
you, if they don't see you, the eyes are red, and if they do see you, they turn green. Is that what it is?
They
Is it
do.
a red light, green light?
I think they're blue when they're docile. Yeah, red when
they definitely
see
turn
you.
green when they. No, I think
They're
they turn green when they see
huge.
you. They're scary.
They're huge. So essentially,
I got
I'm
surprised
like
by
in
one of
creepy
them.
crouch walk mode, and I'm just like out of the corner of my eye, just like, oh, there's a huge man right there. Like I don't know if this has come up on the show. One of my biggest irrational fears is like things that are too large for the space that they are in. So like if you've seen like It Follows, like the scene in the trailer where there's that man trying to come in through her bedroom door, but the man is clearly too tall for the hallway. That
so scary.
Like that just fucking creeps me out. And like these guys are kind of like that. Like they're far too big, and they're just hanging out. They're just hanging out. It's raining. All your shit is breaking on your body because you're getting in the time fall. It's just Kojima was like, what if all the stressors in one thing?
Can I admit something?
Yeah.
I caused a void out.
Hey,
I
if
was
it makes you feel
not-
any better, Liquid Metal Mike said he voided out the moment he got into Australia. Like
That-
immediately.
It was pretty. It was in the moment, but it was pretty close because I wasn't prepared for. So
It was
I
it's
wasn't.
scary.
I thought that I was going to have an opportunity, like the little ones are going to grab me with the hands and stuff, and I was going to be able to struggle and
not
run
at
away
all.
and stuff like that. Fucking, you get seen by a watcher, and a fucking big one comes out with a fucking white face, and he just goes, oh, and he pulls you down, and then you just die. And so I caused a void out, and ever since then, the fear of they have put the fear of God in me. Fuck those things.
Y'all,
I saw that big thing. I don't want to be like fucking MLG moment or anything, but I saw the big grabby thing once, and straight up, just like you're saying, like because I was overly cautious because these things creep me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And the one time that I was just like fucking listening to Waylon Jennings and driving my big ass pick 'em up truck straight through, and I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck these guys. We're driving, and they stopped me dead in my tracks, and they pulled my ass out, and I was like, oh no! And I
you
broke
respect
free.
the watchers, dude.
Somehow I broke free, and I never looked back. And so from that point forward, I'm just like, we don't fuck with watchers. I got 2 rules around here: no threesomes with blood relatives, and we don't fuck with watchers.
I'm glad you brought that back. No threesomes, don't fuck with the devil, no threesomes with blood relatives, and we don't fuck with watchers. The thing that got me was like, okay, I could have kept going, but there was a timefall shelter right over to the left on the other side of it.
They trick you with that shit though. Somebody lured me in with a timefall shelter, and the watcher was there. They knew. Whoever built that shit.
Yeah, fucking assholes. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get some repair, gonna get a rest, and then that's when they got me. So I was like, fuck, man.
I wonder if that's a developer place.
I haven't voided out yet.
Maybe.
Yeah, me neither. Not gonna lie.
I haven't since then. I'm doing way better now.
But have you roided out?
Oh yeah.
That shit's crazy, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
But no, I will say this. So I'm gonna admit something. Every time I go to sit down to play Death Stranding 2, there's a little voice in the back of my head that's just like, I don't want to do this right now. And I always get like 2 minutes in, and I'm like, no, this is good. I'm having a good time. This is great. But it's like shit like the Watchers, and the rain, and all of it combined, and like my existence is already stressful enough that I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I love stressful games, but for some reason I like have to.
Yeah, you really do.
Will myself.
I feel like the BTs are so stressful at times that like. I'm embarrassed to admit it. I have taken some long routes around BT
100%.
areas just to not even have to deal with it.
Yeah, I love that somebody's probably listening to this and they're like, "Nuck if you buck, motherfucker!" I just roll in there with a blood knife and a shotgun and call it a day.
Oh my god!
Fucking blood boomerang, man. That's crazy.
Lily, I like how quick I was like, "Yeah, I like stressful games," and you were just without missing a beat. You're like, "Oh hell yeah, you do!" Like what?
You do. Listen.
Stress
If there's two things I know about Alessio Summerfield is that he likes stressful video games and he loves Ka in his mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But no, yeah, I love stressful games, and this is just stressing me the fuck out. So I guess I like it.
Should we talk about Charlie and the president and all the fucking bullshit?
Yeah, is that before the Watchers or right after?
It's before.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's write it back. Rewind it.
So before we deal with the Watcher, before we're moving on to like the new place, we go on the ship, and Sam's just like, I'm not gonna do this shit unless I can talk to the manufacturer. Mm-hmm. And Fragile's like, okay, here he is. And this
that was like the
one
point too, by the way, that I was just like, yes, I agree with Sam. Sam's
like,
saying the thing he should be saying. Yes.
And this fucking mannequin head pops out of the floor.
It's like a sex doll, dude. It's
like,
weird.
It fucking startled me so bad.
It's not
Tarman's
It's not good.
This is Tarman's ship, dude. What was that thing doing?
You just had that there.
He didn't know. Retrofits, you know what I'm saying? Dry dock. It happened on dry dock.
It happened on dry dock.
That one got me good.
Woo! Holy shit, that was good. God.
Well, that was fucking stupid.
I'm crying.
Oh my god. Those $10 patrons are getting a good fucking money's worth right now.
Oh,
Fuck
wow.
us.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god.
Yeah.
Shout out to dry dogging.
somebody else. I don't think there's anybody else that can do this right now. Whoa.
James, tell us more about Charlie while my lungs were
So Charlie
Please.
pops up, and I'm pretty sure the first thing Charlie does is like ask you like how you would like them to speak to you, like
Yeah,
to make
it's
you
very
comfortable, right?
Yeah, Sam's like, I don't like this. Is like, oh, like you're not like one of my friends. I don't trust you. And it's like,
I
oh,
know
good
all of your
idea.
friends' voices.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Pick one of your friends to talk as you. Yeah, it's very weird.
And it's
You get
fun.
couple options.
You get 4 options. It's what Heartman, Mama, Die
Lockney.
Hard Man, or sorry,
Not
Lockney.
Mama.
Who's the 4th one?
I think the 4th one's like fuck you. Or it's the bottom. It's the bottom.
I-
of the ad.
Oh. Wait, who is the 4th one? It's Die Hard Man. It's Heartman. Dead Man. It's Dead Man.
Dead Man.
Deadman. Yeah.
Deadman.
Yeah. And I went through
Deadman.
all of them before I landed on the one that they finally accepted.
I did all of
yeah,
them
it
except for
forces you
Dead
to
Man.
do. Yeah.
Because I
Dead
was
Man
like,
is
Dead
weird
Man.
because Dead Man is dead.
Well, and
Yeah.
not only that, but I was like,
Allegedly.
Sam just saw him and cried. So like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want you to sound like Dead
Yeah,
Man.
right.
That's weird.
So the thing that made me pick is I didn't know that they default you to Die Hard Man regardless. And so good old Tommy's back, but you can choose all of them. There's like a little like voice line. And if you go back, he like Charlie's like face twitches a little bit. The reason why I picked Die Hard Man is because he's the only one when you back up, like Charlie makes like a kind of like an angry face, like very annoyed face. It's it's very weird. Like if you go into it and you like pick Die Hard Man, you reverse out to the menu where you have the 4 options again.
Yeah.
He he's like very angry and annoyed about it. So it's just like I picked him for reasons.
Oh, weird.
Very interesting. I do like when he agrees and he's like, "Yeah, I'll talk in this voice as Die Hard Man." I'm like, that's because you fucking are Die Hard Man.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
there's
Yeah,
no choice.
exactly.
It's like
It's
you
one of
can't
those things
fool
where
me,
it's
you
just
sick
like-
freak.
It's so on the nose that it circles back around to being obvious again. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, it can't be Die Hard Man because he's Die Hard Man. But no, he's Die Hard Man.
He's Die Hard
Like he's got to be.
What if he's just like some fucking rando? I think it might be Heartman. No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
I think actually what's going to happen, it's going to be a fucking hologram of Alessio's dog.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the
Yeah,
Silent Hill 2 Silent Hill 2 ending.
it'd be amazing.
Hard to die, man.
Hard time.
He's just hard, man.
No. Hard man.
Dry
This one-
dock man.
Dry dog, man.
Do you guys think that they had Margaret Qualley? If there's a listener out there who's gotten this far into the episode somehow against all odds, and you're hearing this,
God.
is the line that Lochner says or Heartman or anybody whenever he does their voice for a second, are they new lines or are they old lines?
Oh man, I guess it depends on if the characters in the game. Like I could see them tapping like
Did they get
Darren
Margaret in there to record a new line?
That's what I'm wondering
or-
because obviously Tommy's back as Charlie because they forced you
Right.
into Die Hard Man's voice.
or they bought Tommy's AI rights.
That too. That could be the move. But like Hartman's in this game. Darren Jacobs is in the game. Jesse Cordy did the Dead Man stuff, so I can imagine that they might have tapped them to do new lines. I don't really know if Margaret Qualley's back in this one. But I could see them like just using archival stuff to make new lines if that's the case. Like I could see that being a thing. Not necessarily AI, but like
Yeah,
using
yeah,
old-
like
there's a
archival.
lot.
Yeah,
She has
yeah.
a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good
That's
point.
true. Yeah. I'm on the lookout. I tell you what. I missed this.
Yeah. I'm always on the lookout for Margaret Qualley, quite frankly.
especially after Substance.
Oh God, fuck that movie, man.
What a film.
Oh, great movie. God damn.
Yeah.
Tough watch.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially Charlie just kind of lubes you up. I mean, essentially is just like, Sam, it's great. Everything's fine. You should go and do this.
Don't worry about it.
I'm your friend.
Don't ask questions. Connect.
Yeah, essentially. So, but anyway, so you get tasked with going to this guy, the government.
The government, which
is
is
what
like
it's called.
The
if the government
government.
falls, I'm renaming myself the government. Like I
Yeah,
didn't know that was an
yeah.
option until this game, but now that I know, like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And so
They also do this thing where it's just like, oh, the UCA isn't the one that's doing this. It's a private corporation, so it's fine.
Well, that's when
And
the
that makes me
president
feel
shows
so much
up.
better. Well, I think the president
Private
shows up
military
now, doesn't he?
corporation.
I thought he showed up after you go to the government.
I think this is all happening right now because I have my notes here. This is all happening.
I see. Well, no, I'm
the
so
same
fucking
time.
down to have this conversation because, like,
Yeah, please. Yeah.
okay. So the idea that the government in the U.S. is now just being outsourced to a fucking tech corporation is like,
Mhm.
on one
Selling
hand,
it.
it's the bleakest shit imaginable, and then
Yeah.
on the other hand, is
It's
actually
like,
just
oh,
it's just
the reality
Palantir.
of it.
it's literally
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's Palantir. Yeah.
yeah, it's like literally just a real thing that's happening.
can we talk about how like insane it is that company named themselves Palantir?
Oh
Yeah,
my
Just
God.
based on like where
it's
the name came from and like what happened to the
sometimes
what,
reality
like
is like so far past satire. It's hard
Yeah,
to
yeah,
believe.
yeah. Well, and so for those of you who don't know what Palantir is, it's like Peter Thiel. How do you pronounce the name? Is
I
that
think
it?
Teal.
Deal.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah. Notable for being he's the
Notable fucking
PayPal co-founder,
PayPal,
right?
PayPal co-founder with Elon
huge
Musk,
tech
yeah.
guy.
Garbage.
He's sort of the inverted George Soros. He's the guy that like everybody's like, oh, he's fucking pulling the strings, massive piece of shit, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Anyway, he notably has a snippet from a speech he gave at like a libertarian convention where he specifically says that he doesn't care if you can change people's hearts and minds because it's not about that. We can use technology to change government to be what we want, essentially.
Bleak.
And so that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this president guy. It's like,
Yeah.
what if Jeff Bezos was the United States government? Is kind of the vibe.
It's also worth noting too that like Palantir, the company, is named after the Palantir from Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Which in the lore of Lord of the Rings, they're like I think they're like seeing stones that can be used
Yes.
to like talk and communicate. And Sauron gets one and corrupts it and then uses it to corrupt the other ones. And they become tools of evil, essentially. So that's really cool that they named them after that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Yeah.
the whole thing's pretty fucking bananas, y'all. Like
that one was for you, Cole.
It's yeah. So anyway, I love that we chose this to be the episode where we were like, let's talk about politics.
Let's talk about
at the
politics.
beginning.
I do like though, like again, like going back to Kojima's like creative through line, like the private military corporations, and, like
Right.
this tech corporation
Yeah.
drawbridge. It's like I don't know. This game, the more I play of this game, the more it feels less like Death Stranding 1 to me and more like MGS 5.
Well,
Yeah.
dude,
Like,
somebody told
totally.
me that this game reminds me of Metal Gear. Reminds them of it. Might have been Matt, aka Dragonhide, creator and curator of the database of Metal Gear
hell
Mondays.
yeah.
But
Love it.
he told me that this game gives him huge Metal Gear Solid 4 vibes. And I've been having trouble not seeing it. It really does feel like Metal Gear Solid
yeah.
4 a lot, both in the topics and just the vibe, like the general aesthetic. Because even
Big time.
Tarman's like prosthesis looks like the B&B
Yeah.
Corp, like latex
Oh.
metal shit.
Yeah.
And then you got the gecko legs that are on those things.
That are delivering everything.
Yeah, there's just a lot of.
The gecko legs, I think, were in one, weren't they? Though,
I
like they were like a
think
early version
so.
of them were in one. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever
Some
that
type
weird
of
like
thing.
textured metal latex
Yeah.
aesthetic is, like it's
Ooh.
everywhere in this game.
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, anyway, so we talked to this guy. He's the quote unquote the president of the United States. Or
And it was
whatever.
determined that he should be so by the fucking
tech corporation
algorithm, the
essentially.
tech algorithm. Or whatever.
Yeah, like essentially the whole point, and again, I guess this does tie into what Kojima was saying about AI and the dangers of algorithms and essentially you being pushed to do things and live your life a certain way, not because you want to, but because you've been algorithmically navigated to it. But yeah, I think in theory, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. It's like the government is updating itself at all times based on how people are reacting to it. But then I was like, oh, that's not what's happening. It's quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
Yeah,
It's going the opposite direction.
Yeah, and it's like if that system existed, like it surely would either be used to put like a tech oligarch like that in charge, or it would be like review bombed into oblivion and just destroy itself, right? It's
yeah. The president is fucking
concept,
Eve from Stellar Blade at that point.
Totally.
But yeah, so anyway, I came out of this conversation being like, this is the bleakest shit in the whole wide world.
Right?
If this is the world we're fighting for Death Stranding 2, I was like, if I get a choice at the end, I'm gonna Demon Souls this. We're just ending it all.
Yes.
Like, fuck it.
Yes.
Nobody should live in this. I don't know what gives these people the will to live in this game, because it's all
suddenly all those people getting real scared and suiciding themselves to go into the tar pit.
Right.
Pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah. Fuck.
Look, if those watchers were fucking in my neighborhood, like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
Well, at first I was like, man, why did Deadman just choose to go walk to his beach? Why would he do that? And now I'm just like, now I know.
No,
yeah,
makes sense.
I get it.
Who are you gonna call? This Bullet.
Quick question though, what's with the coffin number increasing in Sam's room?
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I was going to ask about that. It started with 5 for me, and then there's just like more and more happening.
At 4 for me.
I didn't notice how many I started. I just noticed suddenly I went from a few to a bunch, and I was like,
the first time I noticed it, there were 5, and then now there's like 16 of them, and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Oh, I don't think I have that many. And
I think I might be exaggerating, but there's a lot more than 5 now.
I would be curious if we have similar amount though, because if not, then it means something else is dictating, not progression.
Yeah. If you zoom in, like it blurs it really quickly, but you can see what the words say, and the words say, and for this is on the wall in your private room on the Magellan for the record. It says both stick and rope to protect and connect together for tomorrow.
So is it just people that you've connected? Maybe.
Yeah,
that could be it because
I don't know.
Because by this, well, no, I don't think so. Because let me look at the order.
Because I feel like when I connected such and such of Oz, I can't remember the first part of his name, the guy at the government. I feel like when I connected Mr. Oz and the Lone Commander, I didn't have any numbers go up. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be close to over 10 connections by the end of episode 4.
When it's definitely not the Strand
the
contracts with friends. Too. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Also, if that is the case and it is the people we're connecting, why are they being represented by coffins? That's not cool.
Right?
It's not great.
It's spooky.
But anyway, and so before you leave and you go on this government trek, Dollman is just chilling and in your room now, and you can talk to him as much as you want. I don't think we mentioned that. I will say this. I love that he just flat out tells you when he doesn't have anything left to say. He's like, I don't have anything to talk about right now. And I'm like, wow, that is so much better than every other Japanese game in the fucking history of the world. Which is like, you just keep talking and they start repeating lines and you're like, oh, surely I've exhausted. And then they say a new one after like 7 and you're like, fucking, what is happening? Like, do you have new dialogue for me or not? Like, but we should definitely move on so that we can cover the rest.
Well, we can kind of, I think we can kind of like ping pong from here because like,
some of this stuff happens in quick succession, but there are some mechanics that unlock through these next sections, which I do think are interesting to touch on. Because for me, episode 3 was where I felt like my style of play in Death Stranding from 1 to now drastically changed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So you deliver that to the government space, and then where do they send us next?
We have to deliver a chiral decontaminator to the government base, and then from there we have to go liberate the observatory from the
brigands.
band.
Well,
the
before that
brigands,
too,
yeah.
though. So is the lone commander
Oh, yeah,
secondary
the
thing?
commander.
Lone commander is
yeah.
an optional thing.
Got it.
But God, that fucking sucks. Because I did that and like sneaking through that fucking valley of the
Whoa.
shadow of death with the
That was
watchers.
scary. That
Whoa,
was
God.
scary.
Yeah, we should talk about that for like a
Ugh.
split second, just because the short story attached to it is like
For sure.
pretty
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So government, lone commander, and then the weather channel.
Yes. Yep.
You have to go liberate the weather channel. But yeah, so I guess let's the Oz guy. What's his first name again? I can't, or his like full.
I don't know. I think it's just.
I thought I just saw it. I actually don't know.
His name is
have it written
Old
down.
Oz.
Old Oz.
Yeah, I don't think he has like a full.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like the old commandant of Oz or something. I can't remember. Anyway, he's a man wearing an eye patch. He looks cool as fuck. He looks like he could have been
Yeah,
Roy
he's dope.
Campbell in Australian Metal Gear. Really cool dude, but he pretty much tells you like, yo, it's lawless fucking bandit brigades
Mhm.
everywhere. We need help. People want some structure and order, but we're all scattered and we don't have anything. Oh, by the way, there's an old friend of mine up in the mountains. He just calls him the lone commander. If you bring him this, I'm sure he'll hook you up. And he mentioned he's like a crazy sniper, and I was like,
Yep.
I want
Ooh,
that.
Right.
Give me that.
The-
Gimme.
How far have each of you gotten star-wise with the lone commander at this
I
point?
think I only
Did you
got two and a half.
Yeah,
something
just
like
two.
that.
Okay, yeah, they've got some fucking good rewards if you
Oh shit. Okay.
keep going up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if you go up to the lone commander, he's not super far away. So for me, this didn't feel like out of the way or anything. If you go up to
No,
him, he's
it's-
he's further in the mountains from where we are.
Mhm.
And it was almost worth it just for this thing I want to talk about at when we're done with him. But you go over there, he's in this little like booth thing like everybody else. You talk to him, he's like, yo, I've got some shit. If you're really hardcore, I don't want you to fucking, he's like, I don't want you to connect me to the network. Fuck that. I don't want to be a part of your system. Which I'm also like, yeah, you know what? Like, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Like,
Because
he's
like,
right.
dude, everybody's like, yeah, when you connected the chiral network, Sam, the beaches became unstable. We're not sure why, but maybe if we connect the whole world, it'll be stable again. And I'm like, or we could just
talking about?
not.
Yeah.
Maybe we should not have connected.
Yeah, exactly. But this guy's like, yo, like if you really are hot shit, like you say you are, people say that you are, whatever. I've got some shit stashed in the mountains I haven't been able to get to. If you could get it and bring it back, that would be great. I think it's called like Precious Cargo or something. I can't remember what it's called.
That sucks.
It's
sucks.
it's harrowing.
It's very, very frightening.
I don't think I've made tracks as quickly in this game as when I did when I collected the cargo. And I immediately turned around and was just like,
sprinted out.
let's get the fuck out of here.
1000%
now.
So there's the TLDR is there's fucking watchers everywhere and it's crazy. But when you get back, he's like, hey, thank you so much. FYI, all those watchers were my ex troop. Like those are my guys. Like I'm the lone commander because those are my boys. And essentially he tells you.
So it's like those are my boys and also the people that we fucking killed.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's like very upset about it, and that's kind of why he's like sequestered himself up here in Hermitage, and he's like, he just feels really bad about it. And he pretty much says he's like, the government pre being called the quote unquote capital T capital G the government, they wanted to bring order. We sort of agreed with them. We wanted to go about doing it this certain way, but the people around didn't want us to connect, yada, yada, yada. And then there was a lot of butting heads. And he's like, a lot of people died for no fucking reason. Like,
very like poignant thing about like, I mean, we're all like, we're not that different if we would have just talked instead of
I think he like
fighting.
literally said that. Yeah.
It would have ended differently. It could have ended differently.
Well, and the other thing too is like, and I'm noticing this about everything. So like for a long time, I was like, all these weird gameplay systems and weird gamey things about Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Surely at some point it's going to brush against the reality of this world and not be simpatico. But I'm noticing that like it all ties together really fucking well in this kind of like beautiful cohesion, because he's talking about like, yeah, like war begetting war, death begetting death, yada yada yada. It's quite literally what's happening, because
Yep.
them killing each other creates these fucking creatures that makes the area uninhabitable. And so like the death and the war is like quite physically eroding everything.
Yeah.
And so it's like in this world of like, hey, I brought you a metaphor or whatever. In this world of like weird heady Kojima writing, it's like you can kind of physically see the point he's trying to make.
1,000%.
And like kudos, like
Yeah.
it's weird. Kojima's having like a weird redemption arc on the show.
Yeah.
I think we were big Kojima haters for a minute. And yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging where his head is at. I will say.
I agree.
But Lone Commander gives you a Trank sniper rifle,
Which I love.
I love it in theory.
Yeah.
I fucked myself every time I tried to use it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I would. I guess it perfectly parlays into the weather station. Lily, did you use this Trank rifle at all? The sniper rifle?
No, I just went like, fuck y'all. I fucking murked them. I ran up on those motherfuckers with the blicky and just went ham. Quite frankly, because I'm having a really good time with the combat in this game.
Nice.
Way more than I thought I was going to. Yeah.
So I drove down. So hold on, before we get to that, as I'm coming back from the Lone Commander's house, night has fallen across Australia.
Oh yeah.
And I'm coming down the mountain, and like, I sort of had like the same reaction that I did to the very beginning of the game, where like you could just see all the lights in the distance from all the different sort of settlements, and you could see like all the stuff that people had built that was like also casting its own light. And then you could see like the stars, and it was like one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a video game.
Yeah.
Like I was coming down the mountain, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I just stood there for a while.
I feel like this game has so many of those moments. Like they've almost like made a game out of the moments that you like step out of the dungeon in a Bethesda game. You know? Every turn around a corner feels like that sometimes.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I just stood there for a while. And then I remembered that watchers were a thing. And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Gotta get out of here. I gotta go.
But yeah, so I think from that point forward, you're essentially told, hey, the brigands have taken over this like weather station that monitors the weather, and we need it back. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, let me just go do that. And so what I did was I took my little buggy, my little trike, I rode it down the side of the mountain. I fabricated a sniper rifle because I was like, I want to fuck with this new toy I have. And so I just pulled up. I got, like, you can see on the map this sort of, they mark these areas where they're like, be careful here. And so I'm like, well, I'm not going to fuck with that. And what it is it's a dude in a watchtower. And so I'm like, I'm going to park on the opposite side. I'm going to get out. I'm going to hide in the tall grass. I'm going to pull out my fucking sniper rifle, and I'm going to get the guy in the watchtower. But when they tell you, like, the Lone Commander was like, bro, look, you shoot this thing, you got to get the fuck out of there. Like, shoot it and then just go somewhere else very quickly. And I was like, surely it's not that like that. So I shoot the guy in the watchtower. The whole fucking base is just like, what's happening over there? And I'm like, oh no.
You gotta run.
Yeah, so I got the fuck out of there. But that's when the Bola came in. I hated
the Bola gun.
I hated it in Death Stranding 1.
I hated it in Death Stranding 1 too, but I love it.
It's so good in 2.
Yeah, it was for a hot second. It was my main weapon that I was using.
I mean,
my standard kit is the Bola gun and the shotgun.
Yeah,
I love it.
And then I have a pistol and I have a mazer gun or whatever the fuck in my holster. But
yeah, it's real good.
And I'm a real psycho with the combat. Like, you can just imagine that, like, Yakety Sax is playing anytime I'm in a combat. Because I'm like, roll a gun out, like sprinting up and like shooting people in the neck, and just like, I take my backpack off, So all I have is the bolt gun, so I'm not gonna fall over.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, this was the first time I fucked with like removing my backpack and like hiding it behind a rock and then going in. I did this thing where like I went in, I snuck I snuck for a second, I went in, I climbed up the watchtower, I took out the guy in the watchtower, and then from the top of the watchtower I took my assault rifle and just like from the guys on the top, and then they started climbing.
Whoa.
And so I was like, fuck this. I jumped over the watchtower, landed on the ground, took a little damage, but it was fine. I ran into a building, and then like as they were kind of like trying to flank me coming to the building, I was like boom, 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 and like taking them out, like using like going back and forth between the doors. And then I ran out, took out a couple more, took out the two guys left on the bridge, and I was like, yeah, I'm fucking awesome. It was very cool. It was like very dynamic, very like it felt like I could just do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
It was like shooting the guy, like knocking out the guy in the tower, then shooting guys from the tower, and then as they started swarming the tower, just leaping over the edge of the tower and then doing whatever the fuck I want. Like it just felt so freeing. Like I could just do what I wanted, and that's not a feeling that I got from the first one.
Did you guys get the prompt when you take your bag off about the
to tie it up?
To tie it up, yeah. So I saw the tool tip for like a second, and then was like in the midst of stuff going on, and I was like, no, I can't, whatever. But I guess if you set the pack down, you pull your strand out, and then you hold a certain button, he'll like tie. If you have shit that's stacked taller than the backpack, he'll tie it down. So it like doesn't come off
like
as
roll
easily.
away and shit.
Yeah. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. I did not know that.
But yeah, I will say I played this shit like I pretty much exclusively use the bola gun.
Yeah.
And don't alert anybody. Like those are that's my MO.
You're real sneaky.
And so like so I did that for the weather station, and then there's the other base that is like adjacent that we'll talk about, where you have to destroy the jammer. And I drove all the way around it because I was coming from the mine. That's part of that like supplemental thing. And I like parked my little fucking dune buggy and just hid rock to rock to rock to rock to rock. And so like I can just imagine somebody who's like up in the tower being like, they turn and there's nobody. And then they turn and I'm like fucking tiptoeing between rocks. But then I just like bagged everybody up, dude, one by one. Just came up behind them, popped them with the fucking bola.
Oh, it's a great feeling.
I will say this, the fact that there's not a fucking Soliton radar and you don't know what they can and cannot see changes the game.
Yep.
Like
very realistic, like visual cones.
Yeah, and it's more like 5 still, MGS 5 still felt MGS, like it still felt a little gamey, like a little whose footprints are these. This feels like if they hear a dude go down from like a realistic distance, like
they're gonna check it out.
They will come, dude. Like, and they're like not chilling.
Fucking around. Yeah.
There was one point I took my backpack off, and like I think as I was approaching, this is the part that I forgot. As I was approaching, one of them saw me, so I went around and hid. And I noticed that like as I was coming back, he was like rifling through my shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
they can steal your stuff.
They can steal your stuff. I ended up getting a tooltip about that later on, where it's like, hey, when you're going through those zones, watch out because they'll run up on you and steal your backpack. And I was like, fuck that.
Straight up.
Oh, also at the weather center, that's also where you unlock what became my other go-to weapon for, actually kind of still is, the grenade pistol.
Oh, dude, that thing fucking, I love
the grenade pistol.
I will say, the boss encounter that happens after our episode coverage for this episode. Make sure you got that pistol on you.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yes, so good. Also fun fact, this came from I think it was Tyler in the Discord in our Death Stranding chat. If you press L2 plus R2 plus circle on a weapon that uses bullets, you can activate lethal mode and straight up kill people and cause void outs.
Oh,
apparently.
Okay, I was going to ask about this because I was trying to figure out, because I have been I've been running people over quite a bit. Nobody dies from that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if you could kill people.
Nobody died from that in the first one either. There was like some explanation.
Okay.
But yeah, you can just L2 R2 circle.
I'm gonna start causing some
Yeah.
void outs, baby.
And this was corroborated by Chad as well. Chad was like, "I will never use this, but it was cool when I found it." Like,
Yeah.
What happens with the void outs?
I imagine it's just like a normal void out. It's just like
Is
if
it
you get
big
caught in it,
though,
you
or is it
repatriate it.
little?
Can I take
know.
out a whole base by killing one person and causing a void
Ooh,
out?
and
do you
voiding
think?
it out. Ooh. Take out the whole weather observatory.
Yeah.
You need that.
No, my highways.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see how big that is, but maybe I'll look it up. Or maybe I'll just go kill a human.
I was gonna say, just go kill someone.
Yeah. So we cleared out the weather station. We did a bunch of dope shit at the weather station.
And there's not a lot of dudes. There's like 6 or 7 dudes.
One quick mechanical question at this juncture: have you put any points into that A-Pass skill system?
A couple. Yeah.
We should probably talk about what that is real quick.
You feel? Tell us. Take it away.
Yeah. So essentially, it's every time you finish a delivery, you get "quote unquote" the bandwidth expands on this system that is represented by this weird brain thing. So I don't even really know what the fuck it is. Is it Sam's brain that's widening?
Could be.
But it's that automated. What does APAS stand for? It's like automated something.
Automated.
They've got too many fucking.
Automated public assistance company.
Yeah. They talk later. It's like APAS is monitored by APAC, which is like a whole. It's like a fucking. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's this automated system for the public, and Sam expands his while he's delivering, and you get these points that you can kind of put into a skill tree. The cool thing is like you can turn shit on and off whenever you want, and reallocate the points with like which like
I like that.
Come on, Expedition 33. Like, don't give me 99 respec items. Just let me respec whenever the fuck I want.
For sure. Every game should let you respec whenever you want. I do like that. There is part of me, though, that does feel like some of the skills are like kind of removing some of the good friction.
Yeah.
But I will say, I also like that the order in which like the nodes unlock is dependent on how you're playing. So like, Alessio, I would imagine that you got some maybe more like sneakily helpful ones.
Yeah. That's what it seems.
Whereas I got ones that was focused more on like strand connections because I was like dropping so much shit and building so much shit.
Interesting. Okay. I got like one of those and then didn't unlock more until like way later.
Yeah.
Which coincidentally was whenever I repaired a road. So I think you might be on something.
Hey.
But yeah, so anyway, there's this system you can put points into it. I think most of mine, almost immediately, I was like, I don't want my footsteps heard if I'm in R1 crouch walk.
Yeah.
And so that's one of them. So I'm like, get that shit out of here. And then also like speeding up the overdeck thing and expanding the distance and the motion tracking. Just like anything that lets me fucking creep and knock dudes out. I wish you could go prone if you didn't have a backpack.
I wish you could go prone so bad.
I wanted to crawl so bad.
Yeah.
I weirdly recently
maybe 2 on the nose.
I had a hair up my ass to replay The Last of Us Part 2, and like being able to go prone, it's just such a game changer as far as like maneuverability and like stealth. And yeah, I do wish that you could do that here. It'd be hard with the backpack, I guess. But I could make it work.
But yeah, so once this is cleared out, you talk to this dude. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, and I didn't put it in my notes. Does anybody remember this man's name?
No.
I don't.
I'll tell you who I do remember. There's a fella coming up named Glenn Rain. I will never forget. I'll never forget that man's name.
Never forget Glenn Rain.
Glenn Rain, man. Anyway, yeah. So you do this thing. You reconnect the weather station. Charlie tells you, "Oh, hey, from now on, you can get on your map when you're planning your route. You can get sort of little weather forecasts, which is kind of neat. There is like an APAS skill that lets you look up at the sky and determine if it's going to rain, but I thought it was a waste of points. I was like, no, I'm okay.
I'm like, I'll know it's raining when it starts raining.
Yeah, exactly. Quick question. So the Magellan pulls up like right next to the station once we've and it's not tar, it's like flying.
It's like floating above like the tar as it comes out of the tar.
Quick question. Why didn't they just drop Sam into the fucking LZ with weapons and shit from the Magellan?
Chiralium, Alessio. Duh.
Yeah.
Like
it's the Chiralium.
Tarman makes a point. Tarman makes a point to say we need guns on this ship at some point. And so I'm like, I get it. You can't just like roll up and just fucking off people. But like they can drop shit on people. They can drop Sam onto the
Yeah.
watchtower. Like do
Yeah.
something. But anyway,
I'm with you.
did you guys do before you do the musician thing, which we're about to cover? Did you guys do that like optional mine?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So I did the optional mine and then did the jammer thing that we end up
Yeah.
doing, like
Yep.
as
Mhm.
one big snake.
Whoa, cool.
That
was pretty
optional
fun.
mine has become one of my most visited places. And I have built an intense amount of infrastructure for transporting things out of that mine.
Interesting. Yeah, whenever I got the weather station back on the network, a fucking highway just spawned.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming at this point
Yeah.
that it was James.
Yeah.
Like straight up, it was just this highway. They're like, "Yo, can you go to the mine in the north?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure can. It's right here. Like, let's just hop on here and fucking go." But it's kind of like a mini version of what we're going to run into a little bit later. Essentially, you just like feed it materials, and then it shits out way too large of containers that I don't want to carry with me
Containers are
ever.
huge.
But yeah, so James, you've been using it to build roads.
Yeah, I've been using it to build roads. I've been ferrying materials around. The hardest part is like to mine the things you have to like give it chiralium, and that is both a very plentiful resource, but like also not.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mhm.
that comes up for me a little bit later when we get to that big one where I
Yeah.
was just like, I literally had to like pilfer around the outskirts and fucking scoop whatever I
Yep.
could find. I felt like a
Same.
pauper.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
It's funny. My notes for this mini mine that we find, I wrote, "Seems neat in theory. Not sure how often I'll be engaging with this." Meanwhile,
Seems
James
neat.
put a fucking truck hat on and was like, "Let's ride him."
Yeah.
Seems neat in theory. A
Yeah.
game theory. Thanks for watching.
Do you guys remember? Is this musician guy also? This musician guy's got to be mandatory, right? I thought, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mandatory one, and it's Gen Hashino, who is an actual musician.
Yeah, I
He
figured.
he had a song in the first one called "Pot Virus" that I really really like.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
I don't know where it's like da 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 da. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember
that sounds
song.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
familiar. But it's cool because
But-
once you beat this dude's thing, which like you just bring him something, and then I
Yeah.
think he asks you to like grab something, which you can or can choose not to do. Like I don't
Yeah,
think, I
that's
don't even think I
optional.
did it.
No.
But you just bring him a thing. He goes, "Thanks, man," and then he unlocks.
It's a mysterious recording.
Yeah. Is it the one of the
Yeah.
whale?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tarman thinks he recorded a whale, and
Yeah.
then you take the recording to this musician who talks about how he's going to use it in his music.
Yeah.
But he gives you access to a music player. This is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
So cool.
So you can make a playlist and just like listen to it while you're playing, which is pretty
Nice.
sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And you can unlock new songs if you do certain things.
That's
Yeah.
right. Lots of ways to.
And then
unlock
from
stuff.
here, you have to go to the big knot city F1 and investigate the weird tar currents that are happening there. There's some shit going down.
Do we do the jammer before or after this?
After I think. Before?
Yeah, for some reason I
Oh,
thought
I'm
it was
not sure.
before.
No, the jammer is the
Also-
observatory,
I have this
isn't
in my
it?
notes,
That's why you no.
and I realize I might have put this in the wrong place. Do we get more of? Is Tarman's backstory after this part?
Tarman's backstory is once you get the books delivered to your house, which I think is, or delivered to your room, which I believe is once we connect Westnot.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty positive that the jammer, because I did it on my way back from the musician.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing the jammer, because in order to get to Westnot, you have to cross sort of into a new zone, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So-
You're right. I did it in the same order. I delivered and then I crossed. Destroyed the
Yeah.
jammer.
But they tell you, they're like, yo, there's some weird shit going on at Westnot. We need you to take this
Uh-huh.
stuff, but there's also
Yeah.
some weird shit going on. And as you're pulling up, you're like, this is some weird shit.
Yeah,
there's
that's
definitely
about
some
to
weird
go
shit
down.
Yeah.
going
It's
on.
also worth noting too. So before you go to the musician, if you rest, you get another weird dream sequence of Amelie. You go in and like Sam and Amelie. Sam and Amelie are like hugging, and Amelie's in gray. Her dress is gray and not red. And then like it's like they're hugging during like that big extinction event, and then like something happens and he gets pushed away from her and he falls into the water.
Oh, I remember this.
And then you get like little like baby hands reaching up, and then he wakes up.
Yeah, I thought they were baby hands.
Yeah.
So that's something you can get, something that'll happen on the way to the musician, I think, or at some point.
You also get a harmonica from the musician, which is very cool because while you're resting, you can tap the touchpad and he'll do the little BB theme, the little Lose theme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what's happening. So you liberate the observatory, you destroy the jammer en route to the musician.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Because I remember those two things either happening one and then the other, or the other and then the other. But
and then I really like dealing with the like I again went in all guns blazing on the fucking jammer.
The jammer.
It was very cool.
I did as well. Yeah.
But yeah, then you get to you start moseying, and you get from the musician, you get to F1, and it sucks, y'all. And Dollman says, "Hey Sam, I wonder if anything looks suspicious." And it's like, yeah, man, all of it.
I like
because it's just like.
I like that you just did the fucking Triumph, the comic insult dog.
That's kind of what he sounds like.
It is kind of what he sounds like.
He sounds like that, and he looks like if Triumph, the insult comic dog, was a human. And I'm really sorry to the actor. I think it's Fatih Akin or whatever.
Now I'm sorry about that. A cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, but Dollman does look like if Triumph, the insult comic dog, wished he was a real boy, and just that got fucked up somewhere along the way. Like that's what, but yeah, so that's really funny. He's like, yeah, everything looks bad, and it's like it's very quiet, it's foggy, there's tar everywhere. This is clearly a setup, and of course it is, and it's the coolest fucking setup you've ever seen.
It's great.
Yeah, because you walk in and the fucking red monk guys like rise up from the fucking ground, and then they present the coffin to you. And the coffin opens up, and it's fucking Higgs.
Our old
and you don't see his face. He is wearing this mask that is the coolest and also the most frightening thing I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Whenever like something passes in front of him, or he turns away, or it cuts, the features, like the like he's smiling or frowning, like the features of the mask change.
Mm-hmm.
And Higgs and Sam are having a conversation. Higgs's new MO is like, look, I'm not like trying to be a herald of the doomsday or anything like that anymore. I fucking hate your guts, and I want to ruin your life, and I want to ruin Fragile's life, and part of that is preventing you from connecting this fucking country.
And he was literally just like, I know that if I kill you, you're just gonna come right back.
Yep.
So like, I'm just gonna kill everybody in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Troy Baker chews the fucking scenery. Like I literally cannot.
Oh God.
I cannot overstate this.
It's crazy.
I don't like Troy Baker that much as a voice actor. Like he's good. He's very good at what he does. But I find him to be pretty annoying just as an entity.
This might be like one of his like best.
He blew me away. Yeah, he literally blew me away.
Phenomenal.
It's an excellent performance. And I think the design of the character has improved.
Yeah.
The design and the writing of the character.
Yes.
Like I feel like they really found their footing with like the motivation and the personality of Higgs in a way that like they never quite landed in the first one.
Yeah, I agree. In the first one, he felt so cartoonish as to feel like inconsequential. Like I was like, I don't even think of Higgs when I think of the first game. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I literally don't think
Higgs Monahan is his last name. I think we learned that.
He feels like a weird like side plot to like the main thrust of that game.
Yeah, I agree. And what's interesting is they show a little bit of Death Stranding 1 whenever you're talking to him. And I forgot that they just straight modeled Troy Baker's face.
Right.
Because he's wearing a mask for so much of it that whenever I finally saw his face, I was like, yeah, you're just fucking Troy Baker.
There's Troy.
A really good performance though, like sincerely. Like, if you're annoyed with Troy Baker being in everything, like this is excellent.
Yeah, this is the one. And so so that mask is crazy. There's one particular one where it's like, and you will have seen it in like the thumbnail for this episode, but like the mask, he grins really big, and the teeth are gold, and the eyes are leaking gold, and that fucking sucks. And it's incredible, and the
because he turns away, and then when he turns back, you're like, ugh.
He's like, and he's like pointing and shit. Like it's terrible. One thing that's very interesting is he says, "You don't know a goddamn thing about Lou."
Yeah, with a
And
lot
it's
of heat
like-
behind
About.
it.
Yes. And so it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But then he goes like, basically like, I'm here to fuck shit up and chew bubblegum. I'm all that gum.
Oh, he quite literally
He's-
says that.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Basically,
That's
yeah.
basically the
All
line.
right, time to go.
And he's like, yeah, well, we'll see if you can deal with this, basically. And then he summons this, like, from the tar comes this fucking, like, dope ass, like, red tentacle robot thing. And then you just have to fight that. It's fucking huge and it's fucking gangly. And god damn, did I love that fight.
It was fun. It was a really fun
What
fight.
a great boss fight.
I don't think I said this in the first part that we recorded, but I did not die in the two
Mhm.
boss fights that we had talked about last time. Like there's the
Mhm.
one
Yep.
proper boss fight and then like the dolphin headed thing.
Yeah.
I did not die, but I tanked so many hits and
Mhm.
I felt so frustrated during the boss fights.
Yeah.
And like in a way that like I just felt slow and bogged down
Yep.
and
Yep.
irritated. And I was like,
Yeah.
why am I getting hit so much? It finally clicked for me during
Yeah.
this fight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is the gap of time that I need to give myself to like turn the fuck around.
Yep.
These are the tells. This is how to
Yeah,
dodge.
this is when I need to dodge.
Yep.
Yeah, like
it's
it
very
all
much like
yeah, and then me like organically discovering the weak points that you can
Yeah,
just
it's like,
fucking
oh, you could
Oh,
shoot
it
its
was such
tentacle.
a
Death,
nice
like,
moment. I was like, wow, like
yeah.
they don't allow this type of discovery in a boss fight in this way in many games anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's a design.
It's very
principle
much
that's
it's
lost
very
over
much like a
time.
dark school of
Yeah.
Dark Souls design.
1000%.
well, don't get me
I
wrong,
thought-
it's
yeah.
like it's quite literally color coded, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't click until
Yeah.
you see the thing
Yeah.
happen and you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
fucking loved it. The music was great. The design is
Yeah.
great. Did not expect to really enjoy fighting the former from
Right?
Control in Death Stranding, but
Yeah.
it was really good. It felt weird one here. It felt like a Peace Walker boss.
Mm,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I can see that for sure.
This is like the platonic ideal of what I wish the Peace Walker bosses were solo. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Peace Walker boss with a budget.
Yeah. It's very cool.
But it's
that
sick.
is funny.
But yeah.
That's funny.
Great
It
fight.
Straight up is the former from Control, isn't it? I just had to look
Yeah,
up a
it
picture of
just
that. I
is
was
the
like, oh
former.
shit.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, that is what you are.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then all the creepy red people vanish, and
Mm-hmm.
the husk of the creature remains, and the
Yep.
people from
Mhm.
West Knot are like, we're gonna go salvage
We're
the
gonna
husk.
study it.
Yeah, and you're like, please don't.
Yeah, you're
I feel like that's gonna break bad for them at some
Right,
point in this fucking
for sure.
story. Like that's not gonna be good.
Yeah. 'Cause they even
Higgs,
talk about
Higgs
it.
fucking summoned that from tar hell.
Yeah,
What the
Don't
fuck?
bring the weird
Yeah.
tar tech into your home.
Well,
Tar tech. I don't like tar tech. I don't like that.
and then even Fragile, as soon as everything's over, she's like, she comes
Was it
running
Higgs?
out of the Magellan,
Yeah.
and she's like, was it really Higgs?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Sam's just like,
And
yeah.
Sam's like very vocal about it. He's like, look, I didn't see his face, but it was his voice.
Yeah.
And Fragile's just like, oh, I should have just killed him on the beach. And
yeah.
And I
Sam
was kind of like,
no.
yeah, you probably should have.
Yeah, Sam's,
Yeah, you
Sam's
really
like,
should've.
it's not your fault. And I'm like, no, it is. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty deeply your fault, actually.
yeah, you were the one who could have done all of this.
But Fragile's just like, the guys that attacked your house were in red like that. And Sam has like a very subdued reaction to kind of realizing that Higgs might have had something to do with Lou. But he's like, listen, Charlie, use all your resources, use your UCA connections to figure out anything you can about Lou.
Mhm.
It's like, okay. And then you're off to go to the big mine to restart the monorail.
Yes.
And the monorail fucking rules. I
the
It's
love
really
monorail
the
is
monorail.
so sick.
Yeah.
I'm
But yeah,
as
you get-
addicted
you
to
get-
the monorail as I am highways. Like,
Yeah.
they are.
You take the resources to the monorail just like you do with the mini mine. Take the resources to the bigger mine, and then it resets at the monorail, and you can ride the monorail all the way back
It's
to
so fun.
F1. I'm anticipating a story beat where you're riding a monorail and then something happens and it blows up and you get like knocked down to a boss arena. Like
That
I don't know
sounds
why.
sick as fuck. I hope that
Because because this thing is just like you're just riding it back in real time, and he's just like, oh, I'm just hanging on the thing.
It's very like
jump.
Grand
And it's
Theft
like-
Auto 4 if you don't
Yeah.
if you don't
Oh yeah,
fast
totally.
Yeah.
travel with
Yes.
the subway thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I just like it's the perfect setup for something like that.
There's no
I'm
way to
anticipating
speed it
that.
up either. I don't think. I think
No,
you just
I think
end
there
up.
is,
Yeah.
which I was frustrated about at first, but I was like, you know what? No, I kind of like
It's pretty
this.
zen.
Yeah, I literally
sure,
just like sat there and drank my coffee, and I was like,
Same
yeah,
thing. I was
fuck
like,
it,
yeah, I'm gonna
let's
sip
ride.
my coffee and I'll be
Yeah.
at F1 any second now.
Yeah, Lily, I appreciate
Um,
how very quickly you were like, you get this mission to go do the mine, and then you're done. Like, because it's.
I mean, that's really what it is.
well, it's
like, I don't think I
crazy
ran.
how big of a stretch that is, and
Yeah.
like how big of a deal they make of it, and then they show
Yeah.
you all these mine mechanics and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Whenever realistically, it's you go to a mine, you get some shit, you come back. Like that
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
extent.
that's basically all it is.
Can
but
I tell
just
you,
like,
I almost
just
had a heart attack about one thing though on the way there. So this is when I discovered the ghost Lou that made me cry.
oh yeah.
But immediately after, I'm driving a truck through
Mm.
all these little islands.
Yeah.
From a distance, I just see like squirming, spinning thing in the tar, just like moving around.
Yeah.
And I got really close, and I was like, "Is that a motherfucking tar snake?"
It's so scary.
And it was scary as fuck. And
I
then
hate
as
it.
soon as I like drove through it and ran into it, I realized it was just the little scrubbing bubbles, like the little
Okay.
dudes.
Yeah.
But they were just when they're in a line and they're moving super fast.
They move
I
like
They
a
was
just
snake in
look
the
like a
water.
fucking.
I was like,
snake.
Lily got
Yeah.
chiral spiders, and I get
Yeah.
fucking tar
Chiral
swimming
snakes.
chiral snakes. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's your thing. I always forget that snakes are your thing.
oh god. Ugh.
So you get the mine. So basically the mechanics of the mine is the same things we talked about. You give it resources or like a chiralium, and it like
Yeah.
gives you resources.
There
and
is
uses
in
the
fact
roads and
mind
stuff.
stare.
Dare's mine stare. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think this one gives you special alloys, and then the optional one that we did earlier gives you ceramics. Special
Yes,
alloys very important for building the monorail. Ceramics very important for building highways.
Yes. So then you go back, you get back on the Magellan. This is where you get the books,
Yeah.
and this is where you get Tarman's backstory.
Very cool.
So this is where he starts talking about. This is where he does the phantom pain line.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah. This is where it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he starts talking to you about like his background and like how he got here and like how he lost his hand. And this fucking game and like parents losing kids, man.
Dude, it's everybody. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
But yeah, we should
basically
go
like
through
they
this for
were
sure.
they were fishing, him and his son were fishing in the tar, and
As
they
you
pull up as you do, they pull up one of the whales, and he tells his son to hook himself up to the boat, but he's like, it's fine, it's calm, I know what to look for. He goes out to investigate the whale, and he makes the mistake of putting his fucking hand on it. And he's like, I think it's pregnant. And then the thing like rips open, it starts storming, its stomach rips open, and like all these fucking like tar creatures like spill out of it, and then they like grab and they start like pulling him down off of the ship. And then Tarman gets out of the cockpit and is like desperately trying to pull him up and like grab my hand and like grabs him and stuff like that. And then what was it? Doesn't like some lightning strike or like something crazy happens that blasts them apart.
Yeah, I think
can't remember.
I think there is some sort of lightning strike thing, but everything goes white for a second.
Yeah.
And then everything's calm.
Yeah, it's all calm. It's during the day. Sun is gone. The tar creatures are gone, and then Tarman is just on the deck of the ship, and his fucking hand is a stump, and it's made of tar now. And so that's how he lost his hand. That's how it wound up in the tar current. That's how he's able to steer the Magellan.
I do appreciate that he lost his hand traumatically with his son being dragged into the tar, and still had the wherewithal to think to stick his hand into his ship to see if that did anything.
Yeah, just like, hey, maybe this will work. Like, all right.
She's like, I've always had this stub-shaped hole in the steering portion of the ship. I should try it now that I've got one.
Yeah, 100%. Might as well. But yeah, so you learn about that, and then this is also kind of where you get back from doing the mission after Sam's like user resources, and you find out, you get information very quickly, because I wasn't expecting it to be this quick, but like you go to the mine, you restart the monorail, you get back, you can do the optional thing, and then you talk to Fragile, and Fragile's like, Yep, BB-8 was, or BB-8, I did the same thing.
Hell yeah.
BB-28 was in fact decommissioned, and Lou was reassigned her serial number for some reason, and that's why I'm like, maybe this pod is the actual BB-28, because they really hammer that home, and it's like,
Well, and they also
Dead
are
Man
just
already,
like who approved this is what they keep
Right.
talking
Yeah.
about too. Like
And
who had
why.
the
Like, that's the-
rank and the ability
Yeah.
to approve that.
Yeah.
like that's the new information, but like Dead Man already fucking told us this. Like we didn't need this, so they're hammering it home pretty
That's a
heavy.
good
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am very curious as to who it was. I have a feeling that it might have been Amelie.
That's what I was
maybe.
thinking too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, one thing about Tarman's backstory, he's like, and I woke up and I had this fucking cat with me. He didn't say fucking. I had this cat with me, and I thought it was the spirit of my dead son,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
thought it was
not.
just-
Ha 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 ha. And it's like, okay, then what's the fucking cat? This
Right.
is the
Yeah,
thing. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just not explaining the cat at all, like why
Yeah.
and how and for what purpose. But
Or the real
maybe they
creepy
will later.
tongue that is yet to.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so after this, you get a mission to then go take. I think it's just here. Take the terraforming equipment to Rainbow Valley
Oh yeah.
and
yeah.
pick up a passenger there.
So this is the
And
one
so-
where I. No, never mind. It was the. Fuck, what was it? I know for a fact I used the floating carrier for something. It might have
Mhm.
been this. I think what it was is I drove a truck
Yeah,
until I got fucking rock'em sock'emed by the watcher thing
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about. And then I
Mhm.
happened to have a floating platform with me, and I was like putting everything in there, and we're walking, baby.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna fucking run through this.
I ran into the BT area and everything turned red, but I was close to the river at that point,
Yeah.
and I just like ran through it, and there was I wasn't close enough to get caught. So I was like, cool, deuces. So I just drove the truck all the way up there.
As we say, I also drove the truck all the way up there. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not getting out of this thing.
Nope.
Oh,
Or
did you
actually,
guys
I
get
thi-
the?
I think I
Did you
drove
guys
a
get the
trike.
weird censored memory?
The censored memory?
So like you get one of those BB memories.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But it's this weird memory where they're having a conversation about. It's like two doctors are looking down at you, and I don't know if you're supposed to be from the perspective of
Oh.
a baby or from someone else. But
Yeah,
they
like they
say
pull
the
the sheet. They
name.
pull the sheet. Yeah.
They say the name, and the name is censored.
Yeah.
Like,
I
how
did
the
get
fuck
this,
do
yeah.
you censor a memory? Number one, and number two, this feels so. I mean, I guess it's it's coincidental that not Mads Mikkelsen, that what's his face, the guy who died today,
Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen,
Michael Madsen.
that Michael Madsen died because this is so Kill Bill coded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flashback
Yes.
with the censored name.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's weird. That was very weird to me. I was like,
It
whose
is
fucking
weird.
name? Why are you censoring a name? Like, who could
Yeah.
it be?
Yeah.
Is this Dead Man? Is this Dead Man's pod? I don't know, somebody.
Oh.
But
Yeah. Don't know.
yeah, also that's the one that I was like, why isn't Dollman saying anything? Because I'm like, that's the one that it's like, Dollman, there are 1,000 questions.
Well, and sometimes like that's one thing where like my conspiracy brain part of me is like, well, maybe it's just like, the limitations of game design, they couldn't record enough lines, but then part of me is like, no, Dollman fucking knows something and he's purposefully
Yeah.
being silent. That little
Yes.
freak. Not trusting that guy.
I'm wondering if maybe he, when he was not a puppet, when he was a human, was associated with the person and the people in the flashbacks,
Yeah.
and something happened during that time that forced his cod to a puppet.
Oh.
Do we
Like,
get
I'm
any
wondering.
BB visions before we have Dollman hooked on our
We do
little
not.
belt?
No, the first one is when he's there.
So
Yeah.
Dollman is
So that's also a
he's
thing.
the
That's
source.
interesting.
Yeah.
He's the
Yes.
catalyst.
But yeah, so you get this mission to deliver the stuff. There's this guy in a cowboy hat. This is where the trophy pops for the chapter again, which is super weird. Whatever. You deliver the stuff and then you go up into the mountains a little bit more to go get your passenger. And this is where you meet Rainey.
Mhm.
And there's this really, really cool scene. Raindrops keep falling on my head, starts playing, and Sam's like, what the fuck? And then it's raining, there's timefall happening, and she's just like in a raincoat, she's dancing around, and like things are being fixed and reversed in time around her. And very similar to that very first scene of Death Stranding 1, a bird fucking crashes into the ground and dies because of the timefall. And she picks the bird up and revives it and brings it back to life
Yeah.
from the timefall. and then she like looks and she sees Sam, and then she gets spooked and runs inside. And they're just
my
like,
gut reaction was to say, "Hi, Yukio."
"Hi, Wade." Yeah. And she runs inside, and they're just like, "Okay, go follow her." And then you get episode 4, Raindrops.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool. Also, really quickly, Glenn Rain was the man who we made the delivery to.
Yes, Glenn. That's Glenn
All
Rain.
hail Glenn
that was
Rain.
Glenn Rain. All hail Glenn Rain. Glenn Rain sounds like a fucking Twin Peaks character.
It really 100% does.
Yeah.
He's a door-to-door salesman who just came from the town over to sell everybody umbrellas.
Yeah.
So there's really only, if you don't do side stuff, there's like 2 deliveries in this entire episode.
Yeah. It's a pretty short one given everything.
It really is.
But the first one you get, you get
I liked
Rainy.
this first
Rainy
one.
and Fragile seem extremely close.
Hold on, here's my note. I said Rainy is a good
God.
friend of the cause in the way that my sister Sabrina's girlfriend is just a really good friend.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
As soon as she said it, I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good friend of the cause, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my friend of Dorothy.
It's like every inch of Fragile has been healed for some reason. I wonder how
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah,
Every
right.
inch of Fragile.
Yeah, every inch. I love sapphic romance. You know what I mean?
I think it's also cool that we get to go into Rainy's shelter. It's cool to
Yeah.
see like the inside of the shelter. That's not,
And there's like a ton of like the birds. Like these are all these
Yeah.
birds she saved are just hanging out in there. She's got plants
One
all
of
over the place.
Optional deliveries in episode 4, you deliver a package to the bird.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's fucking sick.
Did not know
Yeah.
that.
Rainy's like, what? Didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So the plants and everything like that, she apologizes to Sam. She's like, I didn't know it was you. I'm sorry. It's like, okay, I guess. And then she like turns around with a little plant. She's like, okay, I'm ready to board the Magellan. And you're like, okay. So get on the Magellan and you get your first mandatory mission, which is you have to go and rescue a kangaroo.
I was
from
so
a
excited to rescue
bushfire.
this kangaroo.
Yeah, I was
This
very
is
excited. To
crazy.
rescue
Yeah,
the
I was like, am I
kangaroo.
going to put him in a big bag like we did with the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I got
And
so excited.
almost kind of, yeah,
Kind
in
of.
a way. But as you start approaching this kangaroo, fucking meteors start
Hold on. They're not meteors though. They're fucking flaming whales. Because I saw a couple of them
Are
up
they
close.
really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they all,
shit.
like a good amount of them are.
There's a
Yeah, I
couple
didn't
of
pick
them.
up
Are.
on that. That's
Jesus,
fucking
okay.
scary.
I did not know that.
I think it's because they're
That's
doesn't somebody
wild.
say that they're being shot up out of the tar? Is what's
Maybe?
happening?
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I
the
don't know.
character says that.
I was so fucking panicked this entire time.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
That I didn't even think about it. Like
I was
and
driving a pickup truck.
realistically-
I was driving a pickup truck. I got halfway through,
Okay.
and then the truck exploded,
Oh,
and I
God.
just was running and on fire.
No, I was booking it the entire time.
Yeah, I did it on foot.
Realistically, you had 30 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
And so I don't necessarily think I needed to be panicking nearly as
My
much as I
soul
did.
had 3
When
minutes.
when you've got fucking like this is fucking shit's crashing, you're like running into fucking walls of and it's like the most tense thing in the world. It's just like I gotta get the fuck out of here. I did later on when you have to like go to deliver the aid packages. I did take the truck through there and I did stop and actually like pick up all the packages I missed and deliver them to the animal shelter, and I rescued a wombat while I was
Aw.
doing that.
I did
Love a
rescue one as well,
wombat.
but I had to put him in a different I put him in a spot for other porters to take him. I
Yeah,
was like far away from the shelter.
I'm happy that was your experience with the wombat. My experience was Dollman saying, "Oh, look, an animal," and then suddenly get a notification that I had killed an animal. Ran it right over. Didn't see it. Devastating. I like paused the game and was like, "Well, I'm a bad person."
That's wild.
Golly.
And then I was mad at Dollman about it. I was like, "You told me way too late that there was an animal in front of us. Like, that's on
Hey,
you."
Alessio, can we have a little sidebar? I don't know if we should keep James on the podcast because that's fucked up.
Yeah, bro. Come on. He's playing it up like it's an accident.
Yeah,
What are you
bro.
gonna do?
Come on.
He's playing it up like it's an accident. I think he did it on
jumped out in
purpose.
front of me.
I think
It
he
was
did that on
Dollman's
purpose.
fault.
Yeah, it's
James walked
Dollman's.
up to him and put a gun on his body, and it was like he aimed right for me, guys.
Sprinkled a little PCP on him, a little crack on him. Done deal.
Christ.
But yeah, so you get to the animal shelter, you deliver the kangaroo, and then there's a scene of Rainey walking out onto the deck of the Magellan.
This is pretty sick.
And
Yeah.
she just fucking like opens up the clouds and
So
rain
cool.
falls and like puts out the fire. It's like, what the fuck? I need to know her deal immediately. And thankfully,
Yeah.
well, we don't really know her deal necessarily because the explanation just winds up being she's just this way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. Did you guys notice that she maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit. We're about to get sort of her version of the Tar Man origin story.
Yeah.
In her flashback, she's wearing a hoodie, and on it says the Bridget Foundation.
Yep.
You saw that.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting.
Also, I was reading the fucking corpus entry on Amelie. Why is she Amelie when her fucking initials? It's like, what is it? Samantha America
Strand. Yeah.
Where does Amelie come from? I don't even remember. Was this ever told
I
to
have no
us?
idea.
No.
All right.
I'm a lie because she's a lie.
But yes, James, do you want to tell us about Rainey's?
Yeah, tell us about Rainey's backstory.
Yeah, so Rainey's backstory, I really enjoyed it.
The witch hunters, weirdly enough, had like the most organic human dialogue of any character in this entire
I agree.
series.
I felt
It was
like the
insane.
witch hunters were from a totally different universe. Where
Different-
things were
Yeah, they're
more
from The
normal.
Last of Us. They were like teleported in from
Yeah,
the
they
Last.
felt like they
Yeah.
felt like the scars in the Last of Us Part 2. But they're
Did
like
Neil Druckmann direct just this
just
section?
this
Just
little
this
scene.
part. Yeah, guest directed by Neil Druckmann.
They Rainey's like being chased by these witch hunters because it rains wherever she goes, and they don't understand that if they just get a little close to her, it'll all be okay. And so they're like, it's like full on like Frankenstein style witch hunt. I feel like
It's
they're throwing
rough.
rocks at her. Like,
Yeah.
she's
Well,
swimming
then out of
around
nowhere,
with
though,
She's
blood.
pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
Like, so I will say, out of nowhere, the moment she tries to retaliate, all of a sudden it's not just dudes throwing rocks. It's like ice shows up. Like somebody shows up just intact.
Ice shows up. Well, so there's a part where she's running away, and like one of them like
Oh, dude, this was
butts her in the
heartbreaking.
stomach, and
Oh,
she
it was
falls
so
over. And
sad.
even like the person's like, "Oh my god!" I'm
They're
so
like,
sorry.
right away, they're like, "I'm so sorry." And then the witch
Yeah.
hunters are kind of like, "Okay, that was fucked up of us. You just go. Like, we're not gonna kill you."
Well, she picks up a
anymore."
rock. She's upset, and then that's when fucking Judge Dredd shows up, and he's like, "Go, get out of here!"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Good
Um,
God!" Also, I'm like, "Girl, they're not gonna kill you because if they do, you're gonna blow up." But
Yeah. But yeah, so she's running away. She's real sad. And then
And then she gets clobbered. I'm blanking on what happens right after she goes away.
she goes to the bridge.
she's
I have
gonna
a
try to kill
gap.
herself.
Okay, it is the bridge next. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
something was happening before that. She goes. To
She's
the
gonna
bridge.
she
She's
Well,
gonna
so
like,
really quickly though,
Um,
I know we're talking about like what actually happens, but the whole time she's like monologuing.
Yeah.
About how she was born with this power. Everywhere she goes, timefall comes down no matter what. And nobody wanted to take her in. And then she talks about what we're actually seeing whenever we're talking about these witch hunters is she did get enrolled into like a UCA or UCA program for new mothers. And she was like, oh, maybe this will give me purpose and maybe it'll make something change. So she gets pregnant. but it doesn't change anything.
Yep.
She's still just generating timefall everywhere she goes, those are the people that run her out, essentially,
Yep.
is the UCA. And so at this point, she has now sort of like lost all of the will to exist, and she's on a bridge considering suicide.
Yes.
And then who
And
shows up? A Fragile.
Fragile shows up, and I don't remember. I didn't write it down. What's Fragile wearing? Is she in like Bridges gear, or is she in drawbridge gear?
I don't remember.
I think she's in drawbridge gear because that's what she's repping to get Rainey. She's like, yeah, we're building a team.
Okay, great. That makes sense. Because but it's interesting again, like with Fragile recruiting Rainey into Drawbridge, which is kind of implicitly working on behalf of the UCA, which just drove Rainey out. It's like very like
it's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's like Fragile. Like Drawbridge is like a vendor to the UCA. Essentially is what it is. It's very weird to me. But maybe that's how Fragile knew about her, because when Fragile rolls up, Fragile pretty much shows her, she like takes her glove off. And this is kind of how we learned that it's like, it's also a nice excuse for everybody on the Magellan to take a shower with Rainey, I guess. But it's how you discover that if you're within like 5 feet of her, instead of timefall, you get core fall, which is my favorite metal subgenre. And I guess core fall is the opposite of
that's my joke, motherfucker.
But essentially she heals. This answers our question that we had in the first part of the episode, or first part of the season.
How's Fragile's body better?
And it's Rainey. Rainey cleaned her up.
And Fragile got real close, and
then even closer.
All good.
And then a little closer.
Baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover. So you find out now that Rainey is pregnant. Well, we've known that she's pregnant, but her baby is now stuck at 7 months, which happened. We happened already.
The artist and this is in Mexico. Plenty of people. 7 months.
Yep. So we discovered this thing is called still baby syndrome, and it's just like. Like this is just happening. And it's maybe kind of new, so we don't know what's going on there. But we discovered that there's halting development in the womb at the same age that BBs are put into pods.
Yep.
So that's really weird. Yeah,
and it's interesting. I do wonder if like the gates popping up as more things are connected, the rise of more and more people getting dooms, and this still baby syndrome are all in some way related to like the imbalance of the I can't believe I'm about to fucking say this, the imbalance of all the Ha and Ka between both areas. I'm just like, where are we going?
James is like, I'm not a fucking clown, but I'll say it anyway.
I'll say your clown words, Kojima. Don't you worry.
I'll say your weird words, Magic Man. Yeah. But yeah, so you kind of learn this about Rainey and the still baby syndrome, and then it's like, okay.
Oh, I do have a quick. I don't want to get all cinema sins on this, and I feel like hopefully that's not how this is coming across, but I have a question. If she's using timefall to put out the fire, aren't all the animals dying?
Oh, right.
Why did that one animal come out of his house and he's like, it's just like, bro, and he was really far away.
Well, we learned that wombats will donate their burrows to help take care
Thank you,
of
Faye.
other animals.
Thank
you, Andy. We learned that they will just give their homes in times of need.
Yeah, but that motherfucker came out and said, "Affirmative, Captain."
He was straight up like, "Good day, mate."
Straight up, like.
Can you imagine how amazing it would be if he just fucking withered into an old crone in the middle of waving?
Salute.
Whoa, man! I got dizzy. Shit.
It's like,
I don't.
Thanks, Rainer. Like,
Also, yeah. When Rainy like puts the fire out and we drop the raccoon off, we're also dropping it off to the band Churches that runs
oh
the
Yeah.
animal.
okay.
Yes, that is
Okay,
Churches. Okay, I was
knew it was a
wondering. I was like,
band.
who is
Yeah.
this?
Can we get a
Churches,
fucking Metal Gear Mondays trio? For
Yeah, we
it's
can
just
do
like
that,
the three of
right?
us, or I guess
Yes.
squad with Isaac. It's like the four of us are just like hanging out at the. Hi, Sam. Welcome to our parakeet sanctuary.
Parakeet sanctuary.
Don't bring that rainy woman over here though, because she killed all of our birds last time. Yeah, if you know the answer to that question, like if somebody's listening, they're like, "This is why none of the animals died from Timefall." I need you to tell me, because can you imagine the shock of being saved from a fire to then be dead from the rain?
Well, I mean, she could just go and save them all with the core fall afterwards.
Why didn't she use the tar cannon?
Yeah.
Ooh, the fucking tar cannon, man.
Because I don't know if you found this out or not. I found it out after our coverage. I didn't touch it at first, but I found out that you can use it to put fires out very, very quickly.
Yep. I only knew about that from that like gameplay preview. Speaking of that gameplay preview, real quick, I do want to just do a weekly check-in on, has anybody heard any dynamic music since that opening scene?
Okay, so hold up. I'm going back to Matt now. Matt, who is the keeper of all things data for
the
Metal
lore
Gear Mondays.
keeper, yeah.
So Matt and I were talking, and he goes, dude, I found a section where if you walk 10 feet, music starts playing, and if you walk back 10 feet, the music abruptly stops.
That's dynamic, all right. I don't know what more you want, man.
Yes.
He said he just kept walking in and out of the music over and over and over.
I love that. That's how it should be, honestly.
Like a fucking light switch.
God damn.
It's like a foot powered light switch.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, so with Rainy now and this us discovering that everyone showers around her to stay youthful, when are we getting the bathhouse episode with the DS2 crew?
I don't know.
Carman rolls up, his towel falls off, everybody's like, oh.
Ooh. Can't wait to see George Miller's dick. You know?
Did you guys get the weird fucking ad, by the way, right after this for the Yamato transport? Did you guys see that?
What?
So I got like a weird SSS social strand.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I got a weird ad that was like, the Yamato transport is now in Australia, the famous Japanese train line. And I'm just like, so hold on. So on the one hand, Kojima, you tell me you got no Outback Steakhouse sponsorship, but you got sponsorship from a fucking train company in Japan. Number two, and this is the real question, how did a Japanese train company come to Australia post Death Stranding and build a fucking train line? Again, not trying to get CinemaSins here, but like, what are you telling me?
Maybe all gates go to Australia.
My question is, my legitimate question is, the train line, all this other stuff, yes, but like, where the fuck did the Cupid terminals come from? Because we got the explanation that Amelie's team split off and went down to Mexico and blah, blah, blah. Did they also just magically run into the plate gate and just do all of Australia as well, just for fun? Or like, what?
I think she did say that
we're actually
yeah,
probably going to find out that the red-headed people are Amelie's like fringe crew that went off and got corrupted. Like,
bro, James, you just dropped a bomb, dude.
Right?
Like, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. God, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's great. I literally did not think about that in any way whatsoever.
I had not thought about that until this very moment. I'm like, holy shit.
But what's crazy is like, so they set up all these fucking things that are now just going to, that they're fighting against. I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they like started setting them up and then they got corrupted as they went. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I do remember somebody saying something about they sent a team through the gate to do like preliminary stuff, but that was like, I think that's all that got said.
Didn't they say they didn't come back? Like they went through but didn't return?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, so you get all this stuff, and then you have to deliver aid packages to the Northern Environmental Observatory.
A shit ton of
Also, shit ton. And also, this is where they are just like, oh, sorry, there's something wrong with the tar currents, and we can't do the fast travel, so you have to hoof it all the way there. But I didn't hoof it. I trucked it because there's too much shit to hoof.
Yeah. I mean, you could with a bunch of floating dudes,
fuck
but
that.
why?
Truck. I was just like, I didn't feel like dealing with the bandits at this point because there's like a big bandit camp like in the middle.
Yeah, I also don't understand why they do the whole tar currents are fucking with this thing and make you do that whole stretch because literally nothing happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I ran into 0 BTs.
I didn't.
You can totally avoid the camp, which I did.
Yep.
Some
of the fucking Elder Scrolls ass shit I did in that truck to avoid that bandit camp would have made your head spin, man.
Yes.
Holy shit. I was fucking halfway vertical most of the time. It was fucking crazy.
100%.
It was fucking crazy.
Todd Howard's just going, it just works. But no, like 100%. Like there was nothing. Like I was expecting like a cutscene or something to happen, which is why they created this like strange. But no, they're just like
they just didn't want you to. They just want to make it harder and just wanted you to do the whole fucking.
I will say I loaded that truck the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
like every package I came across, I was like, pick them up. Like
yeah, that's where I put the wombat that James killed.
Can you? Okay, I don't know if this is a thing, but I want it desperately to be a thing. If James hits a wombat with a truck, can I find it in my game?
Oh.
Can I bury him and mourn in my game?
I hope so.
Anyway,
James, how many likes did you lose when you hit that?
I think 500. It was not an insignificant amount. Yeah, I for real lost a significant amount of likes for accidentally killing that wombat.
I wonder how much a kangaroo will cost you.
I think it was deducted directly from Fragile. It like popped up and said like Fragile is removed.
Fragile's like fuck you.
Fragile's like why would you do that?
Wait, but if she can do that, why don't I have the option to hammer on a thumbs down button?
Yeah, right.
Near somebody's shit.
Yeah.
That's not positive. She runs Drawbridge.
That's
She's the boss baby.
I did catch an animal and send it back, but it was an echidna, and I was like, "That's Knuckles, motherfucker."
Get in there, Knuckles.
I wish you could name him. Can you name him?
I don't think so. I think you can go visit them, can you?
I think so. I saw a kangaroo, and I was like, that's too much.
Yeah, we don't need more kangaroos.
PTSD.
Yeah, with the echidna, I just literally walked over and I was like, "Hey, buddy." With the kangaroo, I was like, "No, I'm not about to get into some fucking shoot this guy, but drag him on your back."
So since I haven't caught another animal yet, do you like shoot it with the bullet gun, or do you just walk up to it?
No, just walk up to it and put it in a little box.
With the kangaroo or with the?
Oh, with the wombat, I just kind of
the little guys. Yeah, you just walk up and.
With the kangaroo, I have no idea.
My favorite is that the box shakes, like violently.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon. Catching a Pokemon, a Pokeball.
I like it.
Oh,
that is something we didn't mention about the rescuing the kangaroo. Is like he was like
injured,
passed out, and injured because of the bush, because of the fire. So that's why it was easier to get the kangaroo.
But in real life, when you drive by, you see them hopping. And, well, not in real life, but not in a mission script.
Listen, you see them hopping. You best not be stopping because they are brutal creatures. Quite frankly,
they'll fucking knock you out.
I know, that's why I was like, no, I'm not gonna fuck with that. Can you imagine though? Like, let's all close our eyes and imagine this fictional scenario for a moment. I come across a wombat. I put him in a box. I see the kangaroo run by. I yeet said box at kangaroo, knocking the kangaroo out.
I like it.
No.
And then package the kangaroo.
No.
And take them both to my truck.
Dude.
No.
Okay, when I killed that wombat, did that wombat go to its own beach?
Do animals have beaches?
We need to talk about this fucking blood boomerang.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Goddamn show. So you get to the observatory, you deliver the aid packages, and the person at the observatory gives you a blood boomerang.
So cool.
That you can use to deal with BTs. You can just like fucking you just fill it up. It's like a fucking little squirt gun. You fill up with blood.
You can use it to deal with
and then-
bandits too. You can hit them right in the
yes,
dome.
if you
with
hit
it.
them just right,
Feels
yeah,
so good.
you can fuck them up. It's
That's
very
crazy.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I did the VR missions with the blood knife just because I'm too scared to fuck with BTs for real.
This is a knife.
I will say, so with the little dudes with the umbilical cords, you can hit them once and they're gone.
Mhm.
With the Watcher that was in the VR simulation, you have to hit it twice.
Oh,
And I think there's a
Oh.
way to where you can hit it on the way out
Going
and then on the way
and then on the
back
way
in.
back.
oh,
It
that's
seemed like
sick.
that's what it was trying to get me to do, and I ended up just like throwing it twice. But like
Mm.
on the first one, it hit him, but then it looped and it barely missed him on the way back.
Ah.
But
You gotta get
I'm
good
just too
about
scared to
the
use that fucking
angles.
knife though, because it like the fact that they're like it's powered on your blood.
Yeah,
I was just like, dude, I don't want to die.
gotta have them
like,
blood
what?
bags.
You've got like 70 blood bags, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
true. Why is Sam carrying all this blood around?
Gotta eat them crypto biotes.
Yep. But yeah, so then they're just like, there's a weird anomaly happening, and you go outside, and this fucking like wall of tar
Mhm.
rises from the ground,
Oh yeah, that's
and
wild.
then you walk up to it, and it's like kind of another mirror,
Mhm.
but instead of being clear like the plate gate, it's Sam, but he's like a tar version of Sam.
Mhm.
And Sam's doing the thing where he's just like, hello, hello, and he's moving along. And I fucking saw some shit coming, because what winds up happening is he's doing this, and the tar reflection is a little out of sync. And it's very weird. And then Sam gives it a thumbs up, and it's giving a thumbs up, and then it goes thumbs down, and goes,
So cool.
and it grabs him and pulls him into the tar thing, and then he like fucking launches up the tar wall. And then we get our first scene of fucking Mystery Man. Fucking shows you're in this like town, and it's kind of like beaten up a little bit, like it's been through a little bit of a battle. And these fucking dudes roll up on fucking motorcycles, and they're doing like fucking Tokyo drifting on the motorcycles and shit. And it's pretty fucking cool. They stop, they take their helmets off. 4 of them are like skull heads, and then one of them is this guy.
Mhm.
And he's like looking around.
The guy
like,
that stops. I think it's just his. I don't think it's the other guys', but is very clearly just straight up a Honda. Did you see?
Yeah.
It
Yes.
just straight up
Yeah.
says Honda, and I was like, "Are you kidding me
Yes.
right now?"
Yeah. But yeah, so he gets off and he's like looking around and stuff, and then he pulls a cloth off of his hip and he puts it on his head, and it's a bandana.
Mhm.
And it's like, this is a little funky, huh? Something's weird here.
Yeah.
And he looks up, and it's very clearly reminiscent of a particular person that we know from a different series. And then his face flashes with skeletons.
Love that.
It's so cool.
He's
With
like
the
if
skull
Solid
and-
Snake and Ghost from Call of Duty had a
Yes. Yeah.
It felt like
And then
kind of like a nice, like almost like fuck you. It's like I created this. Like I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why not put Solid Snake in
Like,
this video
this is
game?
my
you know?
legacy.
Well, didn't
I'm
what's
like,
his name
yeah.
too? I don't know why I'm Luca, right? That's his first name.
Marinelli.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't
Luca
he
Marinelli,
think
yeah.
he was playing Solid Snake after he auditioned for the role?
Oh, that I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was a
That
whole
I don't
interview I think
know.
where Kojima had to
Oh,
like
yeah, I didn't see
correct
that.
him or something.
Well, I know Kojima didn't Kojima say in an interview too that like he wanted to cast him as Solid Snake in something. Or maybe I'm like maybe I'm thinking of
Yes,
the
he
interview
did.
you're
Yes,
talking
that I
about.
remember. I do remember that.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
But yeah, so it zooms out and you get the guys in a line, and the skull guys' heads are kind of like on fire, and then all these fucking fireworks and sparklers go off in the city behind them, and it's fucking bright, and he's looking around and shit, and then they get ready to go into like some type of battle, and then it goes episode 5, conflagration.
Yeah.
And that's where we end our coverage for this week.
So I found the quote. So GamesRadar.com reports. Speaking at Sydney Film Festival, Hideo Kojima spoke about actor Luca Marinelli, who he's a big fan of, saying he chose him for Death Stranding 2 because he needed someone who, quote, would surpass Mads Mikkelsen in the first game. Marinelli
Yes.
was revealed to players in a trailer back in March, blah, blah, blah. His garb, a gray bandana, drew immediate comparisons to Metal Gear's long-suffering hero.
Long-suffering.
As it
Suffering
turns
hero.
out, fans weren't the only ones to draw these comparisons. So did Marinelli himself. Kojima says that when he asked the actor how he and his friends reacted to his Death Stranding 2 character reveal, Marinelli said, "Oh, Snake is wonderful. I'm so happy to be Snake." Kojima had to put that misconception to bed pretty quickly, telling Marinelli, "No, you're not Snake. You just have a bandana on your head."
Yes, that's very funny.
That's so
One
funny.
thing about that I missed that was really cool is they roll up on the bikes. Neil is wearing a fucking like executioner's hood, like
Yeah.
he's going for a firing squad, and he's like breathing. You can see it like sucking onto his face as he's breathing, and then he whips the hood off and is like looking around and like kind of like stretching out and stuff. And
Do you
that's
think
when all the rest of it
Homie
happens.
just died? Like he literally just died, like with
Yeah.
that mask, like
Maybe
and just woke up here.
Yeah.
Also, I guess
Because it's
one last note to make. It very clearly looks like some fucking Dia de los Muertos, like celebrating Mexican city.
Yeah.
It's like a city that's clearly prepped for some sort of like festival.
Yeah. It's very cool. The visuals are very striking.
Yeah,
It is extremely cool. But yeah, and my guess here, and the reason why I stopped Alessio was because
I know.
No, so I stopped here because like I remembered like this is the cliff of the game.
Yeah.
And so the Cliff chapters are like battles with Cliff and like his squad and stuff, and then that's the entire chapter.
Yeah, I forgot
So I was like,
that those
okay,
were like
yeah.
singular chapters. All I knew was this feels catastrophic and scary, and I got to get Sam out of here before I can save and call it a night. Like,
Yep. It's real.
but little did I know. I was
Little
like, fuck.
did you
oops.
know.
And then accidentally run into chapter 6. But yeah, but that was that cutscene leading into chapter 5. So that was the end of chapter 4, and that's where we leave you for this week. So next week is chapter 5 conflagration, and chapter 6 whatever it's called. James, you could probably tell us. Don't.
Yeah, I can also tell you, but I will not.
Yeah.
Because by the time I was like, okay, cool, now I can save, I got hit with the episode 6. I was like, God damn it.
For sure. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the ramp up of the game. Not only the gameplay, but like the story as well. Like I feel like
it's getting cool.
A much more feels like a much more involved story than the first one.
The mystery of BB is really like pushing me. I'm like,
I'm interested in what's going on. The mystery of Lou is the robot samurai.
That's really totally what it is. I'm much more invested in uncovering what's going on with Lou than I was with like relinking with Amelie on the other side of the country. Like, because we know Lou. We spent a whole game with Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did a really, really good job in this game of like really reconnecting you and like making you care about Lou. So it's like, really looking forward to figuring that out. But
also, I think I think tentatively, by the time you're listening to this, we have all of our like warm to hot interview leads worked. So at this point, we do have some folks that have asked us to circle back after lengths of time. So we're not totally dry. But if anybody feels a certain way about wanting to hear from a certain person, please write into the show. Please let us know. And if anybody has any connections to anybody from any of these games, definitely hit us up. I don't think we've recorded multiple things today, so my brain is all fucked up. Lily, we did not mention the contact email yet.
We did.
On this one?
Yes. Not on this one, but on Marty's episode.
Marty's episode. Okay. So that is one other thing I will say. If you do want to communicate with the show, Lily has kind of become our de facto social media manager. I handle like scheduling uploads and all that stuff. James is just Direct King.
Wildcard.
What up?
Direct King.
But
title.
But if you want to communicate with the show officially, don't get me wrong. Like we love all the comments. We're definitely in the Discord, stuff like that. I'm not going to walk around just like compiling everybody's like loose scraps. So if you want something read on the show, and we do have some that we've already received. We did initially plan on reading them on this show, but I think it would be best if we had just a few more so that we'll deploy them on the next show at the top of the episode. But if you do want to write into the show, whether it's for a response or it's because you've got a hookup with somebody who you want us to talk to, please reach out to contact@metalgearmondays.com. Yeah, and feel free to send us lovely notes as well. Like if you guys are like, oh, I love you guys, you got me through a hard time, or oh, I love this episode, or this one gag makes me laugh, totally cool. I just want to put out on Front Street, we're probably not going to read those necessarily. How it's going to go down is, I mean, we're going to read them. I just mean on the show. So like how it's going to go down is like, if you send us that and then you have questions, we'll probably say, so-and-so sent us this email. They said some very sweet things. And then they ask blah, 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 blah. So just know that like, we love that stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like I've literally sat at my computer and cried reading some of these emails that come in, and like you guys are wonderful. I love our listeners so much. Even if you've never written into the show, I just thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. But everybody who has written in, thank you for the sweet things. It just feels weirdly ego-strokey, masturbatory to sit here and read. I love you guys so much. You know what I mean? Like it just feels weird. So we're not gonna belabor that stuff. But if you do have things that you, even if it's just, hey, why is that booty do that? Like if it's something weird that you noticed in the game that you want us to discuss, just send it in.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Or if you want to know why our booties do that, that also might be worth asking.
Yeah. And for the video patrons at $10 a month, we can show you.
Yeah.
We can show you what that booty do.
That's right.
Yeah. Y'all can. That's going to cost more money for me.
No, mine's worth about 10. I'm happy to take a plunge there.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew this, but my kind are a fetish on the internet.
Hey,
anyway, you can find
are also fetishes on the internet.
That's true. Anyway, Metal Gear Mondays, patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays, MetalGearMondays.com, Linktree/Metal Gear Mondays to find all of our socials, everywhere you can find us. All of those links that I said are on the Linktree, so check that out. You find me, Linktree/Liliana Dawn. That's where you can get me. Alessio, what up, man?
Hey, so one quick thing. We totally forgot to say who sponsored today's episode.
We sure did.
This episode, I'm going to put this at the front. You know what? I'm just going to put a fucking pre-roll. This episode is brought to you by, thank you. But I'm going to say it here so we can talk about it. This episode is brought to you by Chad Betteridge. Not to be confused with Chad Worse Ridge or Chad Kind of Okay Ridge. Chad Competent Ridge.
No, it's Chad Betteridge.
And I'm Alessio Bestridge.
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Chad, so much.
Thanks, Chad,
it's crazy that on top of all the other shit you do, that you are cool with giving us money too.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's wild. So thank you.
Don't
so
stop,
much.
but also thanks.
Yeah, please don't stop. But also, Chad, if there's sounds like there are some pretty cool expos in Toronto. If you want to hook some folks up with some expo tickets to Toronto that are also conveniently in Canadian passports, we'll come collect. We'll come collect that.
Yeah, Alessio. Find all your stuff at alessiosummerfield.com. I won't make fun of your website this time.
This time, I get one pass.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a holiday weekend, I would actually do the work.
Yeah, totally.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
It just happens to be a holiday weekend.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I totally believe you. James, the Rat King on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
What else you got?
Nothing yet. We're still cooking. We're cooking fire. More to come. But look, by the finale of this season, I'll have some stuff to share with the Rat King at Blue Sky. You mark my words.
Nice.
Amazing.
We'll revisit this in 4 weeks.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about something really quick before we go. Like, when you're rescuing those animals, man, you got to do something with them. You gotta use something to put them in. I'm at a loss. I don't know what I could do and use to rescue those animals. Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, you know. So if y'all had some ideas, we could brainstorm a little bit.
I like just a lot of inflatable little safety rafts. You can just blow them there in real
Yeah.
time.
Blow them there. You gotta blow them there. You gotta blow the car there. Yeah.
I mean, look, as you know, I'm just trying to propel them through the air with my vehicle. So
Yeah, clearly.
You know,
Well,
dream
well,
of mine
honey-
has always been to capture a pelican in a pull and peel pelican case that is peeled
Yeah.
and pulled specifically for the shape of that pelican.
Yeah. Well, James, like when you kill wombats, you gotta bury them, I suppose, and you gotta put them into something.
You don't. You're in the middle of the
Dude, that
outback.
you
You just
don't.
fucking dig it
You
with
know,
your
they're
foot and you're
biodegradable,
kicking in
baby.
there.
It's gonna fucking return to nature.
Yeah.
Sunrise, sunset type of shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a fucking box.
just a box.
God damn it.
Just a box.
That scared me. You scared me.
Lily became the watcher in that moment.
Yeah,
I did.
If
The
watching,
eyes started
Before-
glowing.
Yeah. Before you stop recording, do you want to just record the pre-roll with all of us for Chad's?
oh yeah, that's fine.
We should all say it at the same time.
This episode
The
is
whole
brought
thing?
to you by this week's Patreon sponsor.
Yeah.
Chad
Those waves are mostly lined up.
Yeah, that was probably
It's the
fine.
one.
Print it.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna like no context, just play that at the top and then thank God this isn't the episode that Marty's people are listening to.
You know, I cannot fucking wait to watch this episode back because like the amount of times this episode that we all just fucking lost it. What a great episode of the
This was a good
podcast,
one.
quite frankly.
Hold
This was a
on,
really
just a
good
minute.
You're
Marty's
Marty's reps.
agent. Marty's agent is describing the show
Dry
to
dogging.
somebody, and she's like, yeah, these three. She's like, yeah, these three people just poorly tried to say one man's name. Slow motion, and then it played to this weird. It cut to this weird theme song, and then they just yelled at me about their politics.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a really, really lengthy, angry rant about politics.
Holy shit.
For 15 minutes.
What did we send Marty on?
Oh my god, man.
Oh.
I heard three people making whale sounds that almost sounded like a name. And then I got flashbang.
Oh
God.
man.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Louise.
We are still recording. God.
That's gonna make
You
it
should like
somewhere.
you should put all of that just like right after this. It's just a box at the end of the episode.
After the theme song.
Yeah, it's
After
like
the
when
theme song was
it's
low.
like when an album ends, but it doesn't really
Oh.
end. There's more after about another
Yeah.
5 minutes of
Yeah, yeah.
silence.
Like,
Yeah, we
it's
should
like a
let
post-credits.
there be like a
5
minute of
minutes
silence.
light, yeah. Ugh.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hit stop
Uh,
finally.
Yeah, this is fun.